What's going on, people? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the second episode of the Late Late Show, brought to you by Tottenham on Tour. Myself and my partner in crime, Brian Ireland, is celebrating his birthday this weekend, so isn't joining me. So I brought in the super sub. I brought in a very, very good friend of mine and fellow Torontonian, Mr. Bobby K. How are you, brother?
I'm always well, brother, but when I see you, I'm even better. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity. And Mr. Ireland, wherever you are, sir, I hope you're having a fantastic evening. God bless you, my friend. Happy early birthday. I know it's on Monday. I hope you have a fantastic birthday weekend. All the best to you and many, many more years ahead, my friend.
Exactly, sir. So, guys, just welcome. Just to give you a little indication, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's really late. I've been simming up. Myself and Brian Ireland had a chat with Ben and Simeon and said, listen, you don't do anything at night time. And there's so many of the 120,000 subscribers that they have that obviously can't make Good Morning Tottenham live or post game shows or when they go live because obviously the time difference and it being not great time for them to do this. So we said to them, listen, let us do a show for you every Friday night so we can include all the people from the West Coast, all the people from America and Canada. We have people from New Zealand. We have people from all over the world. So this is a show that's going to be every Friday at this time for you guys. We will be bringing guests on this time. We didn't bring on guests last time because we only had an hour. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. And then we will bring the guests on. So I believe the link is already in the community section. So if you have your membership, you will find it there. And if you don't have a membership and you think there was never a time to get it or it wasn't worth getting it because obviously the boys are always live when I'm not, well, now you can, because we'd love to get you on. This show is specifically for the people all around the world. And I can see already we got people from Cyprus in. We've got people from the West Coast already, which is great to see. But let's get the show on the road. So let's go with the first discussion we are going to have. So the very first topic is Gio Lo Celso. Here we go from the one and only Fabrizio Romano. So what's your thoughts generally, Bobby, on his career at Spurs, whether you thought it would be better and how you feeling now that he's gone or going?
Well, to be honest with you, Brian, I don't think there's anybody here that didn't think his career would be better. We all had high expectations from him. He came in highly touted. He was doing very well in Spain before. He was doing well for Argentina as well. He had a lot of promise. Real Betis we got him from, right? If I'm correct.
Yes,
correct me if
right.
I'm wrong. And he was lighting it up over there. The free kicks, playing off the wing and everything. Why it worked out for him here, we don't know. Unfortunately, it happens with some players in the Premier League in general, not just the team itself. Like everybody's saying it didn't work out for him in Tottenham. But, you look at a guy like Lukaku, who really it worked out for him at Everton. But then when he went to Chelsea the first time, didn't work out. Left, had a stellar career. He just lifted off at Inter, came back, and then again, just flatlined. And for some people, it just doesn't work out in England. So I'm just going to wish him well to wherever he goes. It didn't pan out for us. Hopefully we can recover a lot of the money that we invested into him back so we can invest it elsewhere. But I'm glad that it's happening now because instead of us holding on to guys and hoping they'll finally come to fruition and finally deliver for us, we're cutting them loose and not giving them those opportunities anymore and dragging it on that extra year or even potentially 2 to 3 years, which is what we've done. And that's why we've gone stale over the last little while. And now all of us in the fan base are sitting here saying, when are we going to clear out what is dead wood? We're at the point where we're calling these players dead wood who came in and we thought that they would actually bring something to the team. But again, unfortunately, he didn't. I wish him well. There is a lot of talk about a negative attitude from him and everything and how his attitude was perceived around the grounds and everything and how he acted whilst he was in England. So again, maybe he's just happier in Spain. He's happier in Argentina. Chalk it up to weather. Chalk it up to familiarity with the language, whatever you want to chalk it up to. At the end of the day, it just didn't pan out for him in England. And, let's hope he does well over there so that they make that loan deal permanent.
Very, very good analysis. Now, before I give mine, I just want to say we've had a super chat from one of the greatest guys.
Brandon,
I love
big up.
So this show, Brandon, I hope to see you come in the chat and call in later on because I know you remember. Thank you, Brandon. You are actually a legend as well. He is. When he came on when I was back in London and the whole Conte stuff, and he started drinking blooming olive oil shots and everything. I love Brandon, so it's great to see you, buddy. I hope you're good. But yeah, back to Lo Celso. You know what? When we signed him, I was really happy. I was really, really happy. I thought, you know what? Here's a player that may be able to do a lot of good in a Pochettino system, not what all transpired. But then obviously, do you know what? In that first season, I think he was brilliant. He didn't get the goals and assists, but you got to remember during that, and we had the Amazon documentary during that season, didn't we? And when we had Kane and Son out, he was doing everything. Obviously, he wasn't scoring, but he was breaking it, getting it from defense and bringing it forward. He was really, he was thriving. And then obviously, Jose came in, and we had the Christmas Day let's break COVID rules with Reguilon and Lamela. And ever since then, I don't think we've had an injured player like him since Darren Anderson. And you got to remember, we've had Ledley King in that time.
Yeah.
And Ledley King was playing with one knee and not training. I've never known a guy to be injured so much. But then what you look at it, the position he thrived for in Argentina was Heung-min Son's position. And he was never, ever, ever, ever going to get Heung-min Son's position. And then obviously he did very, very well at Villarreal. I'm just actually surprised it's taken this long. What about yourself, Bobby?
Yeah, actually it is. You're right about that. The fact that he ended up at Villarreal where he was anyways, and we all from the beginning of the window knew that this is going to be the most likely destination. Why it took so long to finally get it done, I don't understand, especially when the club itself was calling for him to go. The manager made it very clear that he wasn't wanted, especially when he was made a part of the quartet that was ostracized in training and everything and told to train separately. So the fact that it got to that point before he was gone kind of shocks me, considering we did such decent amount of business quickly at the beginning of the window, and then all of a sudden we hit the brakes. So I don't know why it took so long. I don't know why we're arguing over pennies or what the case was. Maybe it comes down to the fact that we wanted to make sure that there was some sort of a buy agreement where they only wanted a loan. So I think finally maybe we just had to finally concede and say, okay, we'll do only a loan, and that's why the deal finally went through. So who knows what happens behind the back doors, but I do think that this one dragged on for a very long time, considering he ended up where we pretty much all expected him to end up. And I have a feeling their fan base was probably screaming the same thing, that they wanted him there because, like you said, he did well for them. He's the reason they went all the way to the finals. So, you know, he did great over there. They loved him over there. So yep. I don't know why there was such a lag into getting the deal finalized. But at the end of the day, something has been done now. So at least for this season, he's not our concern. You know, I know some people are going to complain that it's only a loan and it's not an option to buy. He might come back to us next year. Well, then that's a problem next year. Just the way we have the whole issue with the Longley thing where we got him in on a loan for this year. Well, he gives us an option now back there. And then next year we look for the permanent replacement kind of thing. So just, you know, we've got to be a little bit patient too. We've got to be smart with the rebuild and everything. Throwing money at players doesn't work, because when we're looking at money thrown away, you've got these two combined with Ndombele and him. That's almost over 100 million that we're looking to just throw away, because we're as a fan base are absolutely fed up of these clowns and we want them off our books, and we can't even give them away at this point without absorbing most of their salaries. Like, we're going to give them Lo Celso for free essentially and pay part of his salary still, but that's how desperate we are to get these guys off our books and out of our dressing rooms. That's how badly Conte wants them out of the dressing room. So at the end of the day, if that's what Conte wants, then if that's what's working, then that's what we do. Simple as that. There's no need to argue, go backwards, start going between the club, this, that, everything. We've just got to move forward, and hopefully we just. I'm praying we can get that center back in that we really, really badly need before the window closes. But I don't know. I can't see any more incoming really happening until we offload Tanguy and maybe even Winks. And do we get rid of one of our right backs as right wing backs as well? Is Doherty going to go? Is Emerson maybe going to go out on loan somewhere? There's still a bit of business to be done, and we still got another 2.5 weeks to go. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, let's see what people in the comments are saying, since we've been talking it before we carry on. So we've got Nate saying "Le shit show." I actually call him Gio Lo Anderton, but that's a better one for me. Paul Paul, what's up? Or P, should I say, Dupes, what's up? We got El Dante. I thought it was right for him to move on. He gave what he could and just didn't fit in. That's a great point. In the end, we all know that it was that he was known for him more silly bookings, but he can thrive elsewhere. So good luck to him. I think he's hit it on the head. Louis, you're more than welcome, mate. I don't know where you are in the world, but this is the exact idea of the show, to get all the people that can't make it. Big up, Lisa. Big up, Lisa.
Lisa.
Such a great supporter of all the channels.
Even with us, man, she's been so supportive of us too. Thank you, Lisa.
So, 1 second, we have a surprise guest. I have a special guest. Tottenham on tour have got more than one person. There is a third. And he's just gone to not connected. So that part, I've just
I think by now everybody in the chat's figured out who it is.
Yeah,
he comes when he wants, he goes when he wants.
Big up Wolf that says, yeah, we've loaned him out, but with no buy option. Yeah, I mean, we'll see that. Let's see what Basu has had to say. Can barely remember a single standout moment Gio's had in a Spurs shirt. A real nearly, man. These comments are so true.
Yeah, that's spot on right there. Yeah,
so
it is.
It is just a loan. What are the details? So at the moment, from what Romano was saying, it is just a straight out loan.
Yes.
We'll be coming on to someone else shortly where there's a bit more depth and meat on the bones to the loan deal. But this one at the moment, all we know was a loan. Again, he was injured for the whole Argentine. Yep.
Yeah.
I wish we could read them off, Rob. I wish we could read the names off, but there will be so many. In getting these players out, he is really, really doing a job where other people have struggled. Let's see what else we've got. Big up, Daniel. It may only be loans, but at least Lo Celso and Ndombele Bath out the door. Completely agree. Need to get Reguilon and Wings out, and then send Gil and Sar out on loan. Maybe Tanganga as well. This is the thing. The one where we can talk about this in a minute, but getting rid of all these players and just bringing in a centre back at a cam, it may be great quality-wise, but quantity-wise, for strength in depth, we may be a little bit short. But whilst we're talking about this, he is here. He's not disconnected. So
get him in.
My partner in crime, and everybody, it's Danny Kiriakou. It's Danny Kiriakou.
Budmaster.
How is everyone doing? How are we?
Danny
how
boy,
are we tonight?
how you doing? Good,
how are you, brother?
Yeah.
At 8 a.m. in the morning. 1 a.m. in the morning, brother.
I'm good. Apart from my computer absolutely having some I don't even know what's going on with it. The one time you want something to work and it doesn't work, it's just you know what it's like. But
yep.
Just about. Can you hear me all right? Is it all good?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Perfect. It's brilliant to see. We've got people from Thailand. We've got so many people from
South
around
Africa,
the world.
Canada, Australia's in the house.
Before we get your take on the Celso, Danny, we've got another super chat in from Raj. Raj, I'm not going to say your surname because I will butcher the hell out of it. So we finally realised no more sentimentality. This is it. This is exactly it, isn't it, Danny? We finally got rid of this, the sentimentality and everything. But what's your thoughts on what Raj has said and Gio Lo Celso?
Yeah, look, I think what Roger said is, I think that they're building towards that, right? It looks like Conte he doesn't care about anyone who's been there or who's from the academy. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. It's as simple as that. And I think you can already see that this is the first season. I mean, you started seeing it obviously with Kulu and Bentancur coming in, but they obviously didn't know at the time how good they were going to be and how much they were going to impact the squad. So I think now this summer, you've seen the kind of start of what they want to do. This is just the beginning, and I hope long may it continue because 2 or 3 years' time, I think we can win a title, in my opinion.
Yeah. As long as we keep Winks,
like
right?
This.
As long as we keep Winks, right, Danny?
Oh, mate, yeah.
If we build around Winks, man, we got championships all the way.
Bobby, he's the cherry on top. Winks is the cherry on top. The cherry on top of the pile that cannot wait to get rid of this out of this club.
I
just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone as well.
Yeah,
you guys. Well, I haven't even said hello to you actually.
We've got 155 watching, but yeah, Danny, what was your initial thoughts when we sold bought Lo Celso?
We bought Lo Celso.
When he came in, what was your initial thoughts when he first signed? Do you think it wasted money, or did you think this player's going to do bits?
I thought he'd be all right. I didn't think he was going to be like this amazing player. My opinion was, as usual, is we go for third, fourth, fifth, sixth choice as usual, because our first choice we don't want to pay the money for. Obviously that was Bruno Fernandes. So instead of getting Bruno Fernandes, who they wanted, who Poch wanted, who Mourinho wanted, they're like, okay, no, we're not going to get him, so we'll give you another option. And obviously they went for Lo Celso at the time, who was one of the highest scorers in the league, with 16 goals in La Liga. But the problem is La Liga is a different kettle of fish. So you never know when you spend that kind of money on a player. For me, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to sign. I mean, look, we all thought he might do good because of what we saw, but the problem is that he was never really who everyone wanted, or I think even the club who they wanted at first, because it's just gone to show how kind of he hasn't really integrated into the Premier League, his injury issues, I think the biggest thing with Lo Celso, I think the problem we had with him is that he came when Poch came and he wanted to play under Poch. A few months later, Poch gets sacked. And he has this manager merry-go-round, all these managers, all the injury issues. He never managed to sustain a spot or a sort of a liking with any sort of manager, apart from Jose, who liked him a lot. But whenever Jose wanted to play him, he was always injured. So he never got a proper run in the team. And I think he might have done all right, but he might have been part of the squad. But look, Lo Celso is what it is. We need to get rid of him now, just like Ndombele and the others. But I think personally, Brian, we could have done better than Lo Celso at the time.
Okay, so now we're going to move from Lo Celso, and you guys need to decide.
Sorry, before we do, Brian, quickly, I just wanted to ask Danny, because Danny will know more about this than I do. You said Lo Celso was the alternate to Bruno. I thought Ndombele was the alternate to Bruno. I thought we were fishing at the same time and ended up with Tanguy instead.
No? Well, he was supposed to be the Dembele replacement, wasn't he? Because we hadn't signed a Dembele replacement. So Tanguy was supposed to be this technician with this ball carrying ability, who was strong, who could barge players off the ball. And from what we saw in the Champions League, he looked like he could do that with maybe even more technical ability and more skill, and maybe add more dimensions up front in terms of goals and assists. But of course, we all know what happened with Ndombele. They didn't do their research. And yeah, he obviously prefers McDonald's and playing football. So,
do you know what? This has worked out perfectly, because all afternoon I've just had two songs in my head. So before I bring the next banner up, Bobby, I'm going to ask you to decide. Do you want to hear a bit of Kool and the Gang, or do you want to hear a bit of NSYNC?
You know it's always Kool and the Gang, baby, because, well, we got Kool and the Gang coming on tomorrow.
Okay, so then celebrate good times. Come
I didn't know you were going to sing.
Because it is Tanguy and Bye-bye. Finally.
Bye-bye.
Finally.
Bye-bye.
Has he gone?
Well, no. Again,
Fabrizio Romano, he tweeted it.
He is basically on the verge of signing on loan. It's now this I can say. It's a loan deal to Napoli,
right?
With a 3 million loan fee,
right?
With an option to buy at 13 million. But if they qualify, 1-3. But if they qualify for the Champions League, it becomes an obligation.
Right. Okay. 13 million.
13.
He turns out good.
1-3, mate. I would have taken 13,000.
Yeah, no, but look, you got to remember, right? We have to. At the end of the day, yeah, this is a huge loss on regardless of his ability, right? If he could get it right in a specific league, if he goes to Italy, which he could actually really fit in Serie A, in my opinion, I think that's the perfect league for him. If he takes off, then 13 million is an absolute bargain for him. Of course, he's never going to make it in the Premier League, right? But for 13 million, I think, yeah, it is what it is. But look, 30 million is better than nothing, right? And it gets that £200,000 a week off the wage bill, which is what we really want.
Yeah, I think from what they're gathering, they're now discussing the wages between Spurs and Napoli to see how much we pay, because they're not going to be paying it all. So
they're going to pay majority of it.
But Bobby, what's your thoughts of this and Tanguy overall? This should be interesting.
Oh, you know how I felt about him from the beginning. I absolutely loved it when we bought this guy. I thought when I went, I didn't know anything about him, so I went and started watching highlight reels of him and everything, and I just thought this guy oozed class. The things that he was doing with the ball, even from a young age, he just has so much ability. And it breaks my heart when you see somebody that just has so much natural talent be such a lazy fuck. It's unbelievable. If I had a hundredth of this man's talent, I would be trying to improve on that. But this man, with all the talent in the world, God given as well, decided that I'm just going to waste it away to nothing because I'm a selfish little childish prat. Now, and I've said this to you, Brian, I know we've had this conversation. Do we blame him, who's 22 years old, 23 years old, when we moved him out of his country, away from his family, into a different element, into a new world, basically, into a new league, put all this pressure on him, highest paid player on the team, blah, blah, blah. Do we blame him specifically, or do we blame his caretakers, the people that have raised him into the game, that didn't financially prepare him for what was going to happen, that didn't mentally prepare him for the pressure that he's going to come under and the responsibilities that come with being a high price tag player? So, the finger can be pointed in several different directions, but at the end of the day, it comes down to him, his effort. And when you walk off the pitch in a sulky bitch fashion, you yourself have put a bullseye on your back. And don't blame the fans for turning on you, because you, my man, your actions had the fans turn against you. Players are loved and hated by fans because of what they do on the pitch and off the pitch. This guy's attitude on it and off it was absolutely vile to see for a fan. Even my kids, who absolutely loved watching him and saw, like, this is a young guy that's going to come up. This could have been their potentially favorite player as they become the next generation of fans. Instead, he's probably going down in our history as the biggest bust. He makes Rebrov look like a great fucking deal.
Yep. I mean, listen, when we signed him, I can remember my parents were here from Canada, from London, and it was like literally we hadn't signed anyone for 18 months. They did Jack Clark, then they did him, and we were all waxing lyrical about him. We were all like, oh my God, this is the guy, this is going to do it. And he came with such a glowing reputation, and everyone wanted him. But I think the warning signs were everyone wanted him, but no one went for him.
Yeah.
That should have been the first telltale sign.
Because Bayern was there, they backed away. Juventus was there, they all backed away.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It's just we just got in before they could do any deal. We showed him the project with Mauricio Pochettino at the time, and we were actually working on that deal before anyone else was. So the reason why we got on Ndombele, because we went in straight in, paid exactly what Leon wanted. Obviously there was negotiations, but we wanted to get the deal done quickly before the other clubs moved for him, so that we could actually get him signed up, because a lot of clubs were circling. Bayern Munich were, Barcelona were. A lot of teams wanted him because obviously what he did in the Champions League with Leon was fucking unbelievable. And that's why that's what caught everyone's eye, was his ability had to budge players off the ball, take on 2 or 3 players like they're not even there, the skills, the quality in his passing. Even his finishing at times is brilliant. We've seen it at Tottenham, but we just all know that, like you said, I think I personally think with Ndombele is that he's a street footballer, and he's always been a street footballer, and his mentality is of a street footballer, because this guy, you put him in a 5-a-side team, he'll be the best player in the world. There won't be anyone else right now in the world. He's the first man on the team sheet if you're playing a 5-a-side game, because you know this guy's going to run rings around everyone. But when it comes to a 90-minute match, where you need stamina, you need endurance, you need desire, effort, you need everything else that you need as a professional elite sportsman to kind of play the game, and he doesn't have any of it, and that's the biggest problem with him. And it's a shame, because it's a waste of a talent. It's a waste of a talent.
So yeah, I mean, what I heard as well is French people were even saying, I don't know if it was even Ben and Simeon that said it, that they were speaking to him. It may not, but it may have been a friend of mine. But we're even saying, even the French fans back home used to say to him, like, listen, he has 5 outstanding games a season, and then the rest he is. But when he's hot, he's hot. And I remember he actually did an interview. Alistair Gold did it, where he said even with Poch's training, he was like, I don't know if I can handle this. He said it immediately. I mean, God knows what he would have done.
To leave, Brian, the first window that he actually was signed, because after a week he wanted to leave because he couldn't handle the training.
Yeah.
What is that?
Exactly.
And then the worst thing about Ndombele is the fact that every summer we've had him, he's wanted to leave, which shows you he doesn't care about Tottenham, doesn't care about the bad. All he cares about is that money, that 200 grand a week that he's getting, because he wants to live the lifestyle of a celebrity, but he doesn't really give a crap about football. That's as simple as that with him. He doesn't give a shit, and it's fucking disgraceful, and it's also sad because when you watch someone who's got that much ability, it's like, wow, like you just can't believe this guy's got so much God-given talent, right?
Heartbreaking.
And he is absolutely wasting it, because this guy could be one of the best players on the planet if he put his mind to it. But you know that he's another Dele Alli, he's another Ravel Morrison, he's another all these players, another Adel Tarabt who thinks he's the best player on the planet. He's got all the technical ability on the planet, but he doesn't have everything else that you need to be a professional footballer. If he had everything that Højbjerg had, as well as but he had his talent, he'd be a world-class player, elite player.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Danny. I completely agree with you, and I don't even fully believe he has to put 100% in to be a world-class player. I think this guy was so talented that if he put 30% effort in, he would have consistently got better and got to some level. But he just didn't want to put 1% effort in.
No,
he just wanted to turn up, grab his paycheck, bitch and moan, go the hell home, blame everybody else for his issues, blame the weather in England, blame my friends leaving, Sissoko's gone, Aurier's gone, I have to move away from home, I miss my family, I miss my friends, I miss my neighbor's cat, whatever.
You know what the funniest thing is, Bobby?
McDonald's, whatever, man, shut up.
The funniest thing is that this season he came back to training and he was like, I'm now ready to play for Spurs. When he had his conversation with Conte, his meeting, he was like, I'm now ready to play for Spurs. Conte was like, no. You're not playing for Spurs?
Yep.
Danny, you're done, mate.
You had your chances.
Danny,
you
had your chances. That's it.
Could you see him doing the 42 lengths in career? Not a chance. He would have.
He'll do half of it and he'll collapse.
40. You think he would have done 21? I would have bet that he would have done 2.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
I said no. As in like he would have done half a lap.
Oh, half of a lap.
Half of a lap.
Okay.
Yeah,
one lap.
Me and Bob Spurs said this as well. And for me and Bob Spurs to say this is a bold statement. We saw him do things on the ball that we haven't seen since Gaza. That's what he could do on the ball. On the ball, when he was on, he had the turn like Ndombele, where you knew he was going to turn. You just didn't know which way or how or when. And to see this talent, that he's going to look back in his career. Yeah, he's going to have a filthy bank balance with a filthy amount of money. But I think just happy to get this dude and the toxicity out of the door. They're finally all going, which is the best part. We got another super chat in before we move to the next one. We're now going to get into happy Spurs stuff. Now we're going to get to that. But this is coming. And what would I do if Kulu went to Arsenal? Ain't going to happen. Never going to happen. Now, I know there was this thing where he apparently said this on an interview, but this ain't happening. It won't happen. Spurs players go to Arsenal. Why would any Spurs player want to go to Arsenal right now? There's just absolutely no reason to leave Spurs to go to Arsenal, and this is not going to happen, my friend. Guys, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that interview with Kulu. Someone's echoing.
Go on, Danny.
Can you hear the echo?
Yeah, it's you.
It's me.
I can't hear any echo.
Hello? No, not now. It's you, Bobby.
It's me. So what? Why am I echoing? It's done now. Cool again?
I think it's right now. Yeah, it's right
cool.
now.
I didn't even hear the echo in the first place. But back to you, Danny.
Yeah. So with Kulu, did you hear the interview that he had recently about? He had like a 10-15 minute interview with someone, and he was speaking in Swedish. I think it was.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there's a team he wants to play for, but he can't say who it is because it's not the right thing to say now. Someone he's always wanted to play for. I think that team is not Arsenal. I think it's Chelsea. I think he's always wanted to play for Chelsea, in my opinion. And I think that's why. Now, I don't think he'll ever go to Arsenal. But if there's a time where, say, for example, Conte was to leave, we don't win our trophy, we don't fulfill the kind of goals of what the project is for Tottenham in the next 2 or 3 years, it's not just Kulu that might leave, it's other players as well. It's like your Romeros, your Harry Kane. Harry Kane's going to give it until Conte leaves. That's my opinion. If Conte stays, he stays. As soon as he goes, I think Harry Kane's done. I think with Tottenham, he's completely done. So I'm hoping, obviously, we all pray that in the next few years we're going to win a Premier League title. We're going to win maybe an FA Cup as well, and get to the latter stages of the big competitions. And that's ideally what they would want to do. But yeah, I can only see Kulu going to somewhere like that, like a Chelsea, or like a bigger club, like a same for all of our players, really. I mean, the only teams that they're going to go to are like the biggest clubs.
And Bobby,
Arsenal, not a big club anymore. They're a big club in terms of history, but right now they're on the same trajectory as us. This is Tottenham and Arsenal right now. They're at the same level, kind of thing. So it's who's gonna kind of, we're a little bit ahead of Arsenal because of where we finished last season and the manager we have. And I think the reinforcements we've got a stronger squad than they have, just because we have got a few world-class players, whereas they don't. But we can't rule out Arsenal because look, I think this season, if they keep their players fit, I think they're going to push all the way for that 4th spot.
And Bobby, your thoughts?
I think the guy in the orange shirt is completely deluded. They ain't pushing for shit, buddy. They're going to be playing 2-3 times a week. Once they realize how much fitness is required and stuff, Arteta has not prepared his team properly. The guy is a joke. He's fraud Teta. So I am not worried about them pushing for anything. The only thing they're going to be doing is pushing their manager out the friggin' door before the end of the season. I hope he actually stays for 20 years and just completely gets them right down into the ground. But that's a separate topic. In regards to this, all I have to say is last NLD, Decky played in it. He was there. Why the hell would he want to be on the other side?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you want to leave the atmosphere of that stadium, those training grounds, the facilities, everything you've come into, the amount of love that this man has been showered with? Rose petals are falling at his feet as he walks as a conquering emperor in Rome. Why would you want to leave that environment? Why would you upset yourself? Unless the only way I can see it happening is if somebody comes in and offers him triple his wages or something, and everything that us as human beings would turn our heads naturally as well. But for right now, as I see it, there's absolutely no reason for him to go. Like Danny said, if the project starts to fail and there's no fruitation to it, there's no traction to it, we're not building on the foundation that Conte is trying to set and keep going up that level, then 100%. Not only do I see him leaving, I could see a mass exodus. God, please don't let that happen, because that would just be heartbreaking, because that, I think, would put us back years. But I don't see Conte going anywhere. I don't see Kane going anywhere. And I definitely don't see Kulu going anywhere, especially to Woolwich.
There we go. So before we get on to the next topic, just to let you know, obviously, everyone smash the like for the boys, because they do tremendous work for us. So just smash that like. It's completely free. And whilst you're smashing that like, you will see in the heading a link to mine and Danny's channel with Brian Iden, which is Tottenham on Tour. Please give that a subscribe. We are 130 away from hitting 5K, which is huge for us. We've got lots of stuff going on. So please, if you get the chance, you can hit the hyperlink that they put in there, and you don't even leave this stream. You just need to push subscribe and not even leave the screen. And then obviously we've got Bob, tell them about your channel very quickly before we carry on with the show.
Yeah, it's the 3 Spurs Boys, the number 3 Spurs Boys, all one word. We're doing Coov and the Kang tomorrow night live, and then the boys got a little off the pitch episode coming up during the weeks and stuff, and we just got a few different things going on with our main man up there, Brian Daigle, on Sunday as well after the game and stuff. So yeah, get on over. We are only 4,014 4,014 subscribers away from 5,000. So, 514. Yeah, 4,514 subscribers away from 5,000. So, if you want to help us get those numbers up, yeah, 3 Spurs Boys, and yeah, come on over.
Okay, so next topic, and it's something I'm really looking forward to talking to, because obviously we're talking about players coming out. I want to talk about 2 people that have come in today officially. And I'm not talking players. And we've said for a long time, we need to get football people back within the club. So make this a football club with football people that know what they're doing. And Yaya Toure, a serial winner, and Jermaine Defoe have officially joined Tottenham as coaches for next year within the youth teams. I think personally, this is absolutely incredible. Especially, do you know what? Especially Yaya, because Jermaine Defoe can talk about the heritage of the club, the history of the club, what it means to wear that shirt. Yaya Toure can say, right, look, I've won it all. I have won it all. And that's what we haven't done. I mean, I personally am absolutely over the moon with these two. What about yourself, Bobby?
With Defoe. You know me, he's class. I've always loved the guy. I think anywhere that guy goes, he just oozes class. He oozes professionalism, and he's just a great character to have around the club. He's going to help our youngsters. He's gone through the ups and the downs. He's been a Tottenham player a long time, so he knows what it is to have the fan base be your best friend one day and be your worst enemy the following day. He knows the club. He knows the systems. He's seen the way this board has operated over the years. So if he's coming in and joining the project now, after putting so many years of his career into the club, he believes in the project. And who better than a former player of his pedigree to come in and show these youngsters that there is something going on here. There is something big going on here. Believe in this. I'm believing in this. I'm involving myself in this project. I'm putting pen to paper and committing myself to this project and to this club. So as a young player coming in, looking up, idolizing him, or even knowing just who he is and saying that he was a great player for us, of course, you're going to respect the fact that he's there. With Yaya, I'm actually shocked that we got him, because we've never had any connection to him over his club career or anything. He's pretty much played everywhere else except for us, but he's a serial winner. The guy's, let's face it, he is a leader. The guy has been a born leader on the football pitch. He's always been a solid player. He's always reliable. For his entire career, he was rated very highly. At no point, even when he retired, did people say he had dropped off in form or anything like that, that he wasn't putting in the work rate or anything like that. So I think that these guys, to bring it in, and it'll really, because even if you look at our buys so far, a lot of them are still young. We got a lot of young talent in here that needs to be developed. And with that Tanguy situation, and I'm going backwards a little bit here, his mentality coming to England wasn't right. Something in his head, blame whoever you want, him or everybody around him, that didn't structure and prepare him properly. Something wasn't right. You get guys like this in that are actually going to mold these kids and prepare them mentally as well for everything that happens off the pitch. I think it's a phenomenal deal and a very smart play on the club's part.
And I have to say, listen to Ben, everyone, because I can guarantee it's Ben. Let's try and get this to 150 likes in case Simeon may wake up and start talking about algorithms again.
He does it in his sleep.
We don't know if Simeon has a chance to say the word algorithm, he'll wake up. I can assure you of that. So yeah, Danny, your thoughts on Defoe and Traore?
Yeah, I agree with what Bobby was saying. I think it's great to have, especially for me, as much I like Defoe is going to be great with the youngsters, but I think the key thing, what Bobby said, was the fact that these are players who kind of, you could say, recently retired. Like in the last couple of years, they've retired, so they've just come out the game, and they know, they know exactly what modern day football is like in terms of off the field. So to be able to help them manage their lives outside of football as well, I think that's the biggest thing that they could do. Not as well as obviously what they can do on the training pitch, but I think it's to see what to help them so they can kind of deal with all the pressures that come with being a professional footballer in the Premier League. And I think that's going to be key. And someone like Yaya Toure, who's won pretty much everything nearly, I think that's going to be amazing for the mentality, because you listen to someone like him, who knows what it takes to win at the highest level in every competition. He's won in multiple leagues. I can't remember if he's won a Champions League with Barcelona or not. I can't remember if he did.
I think he did.
I think he did. So he's won like everything basically. And yeah, I mean, he was a phenomenal player, one of the best the Premier League's ever seen, in my opinion. So I think you can only learn lots of good things from someone like that. And for the strikers as well in the squad, I think to have someone like Jermaine Defoe there, I think it's going to be great. I think when Dane Scarlett comes back on loan, or comes back from his loan, I think him and Troy Parrott could learn a lot of Jermaine Defoe.
Hell yeah.
So it's going to be great.
I would say, first of all, you're bang on the money, Raj. Thanks for the super chat again. This is exactly what Yaya Toure
exactly this. Yeah,
will deliver: mentality, hunger, aggression, just that do or die. You got to remember, even when times when Pep was like, when he came to Barcelona, when he came to Man City, and he was kind of showing the door. He used to call him back occasionally, like as a needs must, and whenever he did, he sorted the job. He'd done the job. Do you know what? He was a player I loved watching. You just couldn't stop him. And he is going to bring all that to the football club, which is going to be absolutely vital. And I think you got to remember, we did this well with Ugo Ehiogu before he passed away. God bless him. He was doing wonderful things and apparently everyone at the training ground loves him. So I think this could only be a super positive thing. And like I said, Jermaine Defoe is just Jermaine Defoe. So that's now, if you look at it, you got Yaya Toure, you got Jermaine, you got Ledley, you got Michael Dawson. It's starting to take a bit of shape in the back, isn't it? I think Paratici's got a lot to do with this. I think Paratici has a lot to do with it. You can see what he's doing now, can't you? He's getting players out. He's bringing players in. You can all have the debate whether you think Paratici's brought the right players in or not. That's always going to be opinion. But we're starting to make... I mean, did you even see when we talk about this with Hugo Lloris in the Tottenham Hotspur suits? And there was a tweet that Paratici has ordered them all suits for when they go away games. And he wants them all to wear suits like they mean business every single time, because they say we're the real deal now. We're a real outfit. We go in suit. The whole mentality of the club is starting to change under Paratici. And these two are a huge, huge part of it. So now we're going to get to the final topic before we start bringing people on. And there's 4 people in the background already. So thank you very much, guys. We'll be getting
appreciate your patience, guys.
And yeah, so the first one coming on after we've spoken about this is a brand new caller, which is going to be great to see. It's always good. And it's this, the small matter of a game against these lot. Now, I know me and Danny have had this conversation, and Danny actually hates this lot more than the filth. For me, I just can't.
Fucking hate Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean,
hate Chelsea.
Yeah, I hate them with a passion, but it's still Arsenal for me. But I completely understand why with Chelsea. But just how big of a game and how big of a marker, Danny, can we put down on Sunday?
I think for us, it's a far, far bigger game. Oh, hold on. I'm going to mute Bobby because it keeps echoing on him. Thanks, Bobby. You can stay quiet now. Look, I think for us, right, this is one of the biggest games, and it's great that it's coming right now. I'm gonna put my realism hat on and say, look, I know this is the best time to play Chelsea, but we gotta remember it is still Chelsea. And one thing for sure, Chelsea could be playing in the absolute mud, right? And then Tottenham come along and they just go up by 10 levels, and they just then the Chelsea start their season as soon as they come to Spurs, or we go to them. But this is definitely the most confident I've ever felt going into a derby, the Chelsea-Tottenham derby at Stamford Bridge. I've never felt more confident in 30 years of supporting this team, which is crazy to think that we're going to Stamford Bridge feeling confident for once. And yeah, look, this is going to be the biggest marker for us to show us where our level is compared to before Conte joined, because obviously we had played Chelsea twice with Conte, was it last season, and twice without, was it? Or 3 times with Conte, and we lost all 3 times. And yeah, and if you actually look at the squads that we played, or the first 11 that played against Chelsea in those teams, we had injury issues. Some was injured, I think. I can't remember if Romero was injured as well. So we had Harry Winks in the midfield with Skip. So, and we never had Kulu. We had Bergwijn and Kane up top. And the levels of what we've got right now is completely different. We've gone up 2 levels compared to that team. And I think yeah, it's going to be very telling to see how far we've gone in terms of our progression. And the biggest thing for me is to see how our mentality stands up. Because for me, it's the big what we have a mental block against Liverpool, Chelsea, and level and well, all the top teams really away from home. We have a big mental block against them. So if we were to go to Stamford Bridge and beat them convincingly, for me, it's a big statement from Spurs to say we are here and we're not going anywhere. And that's what I'd love to see. Whether or not we will see that, it's remains to be seen. But this is the best chance we're going to have, because by the end of the window, they could have like another 2 or 3 top class players in. And the next time we come to playing, it's going to be a lot harder. But if we're going to do it, we do it now. This is the time to do it. And I think the way Conte's spoken about it before, before the season, at the end of last season and this season, I remember at the end of last season, he was like, I wish we were playing Chelsea now, because then they would see what our level is. So inside, I think Conte, inside, he is burning to get to destroy Chelsea tomorrow on Sunday. If he wants nothing more than to absolutely destroy them. And I hope that he comes up with a tactical masterclass to do that.
Let's hope so. Bobby, before I give mine, what's your opinions and thoughts on this small little game on Sunday?
I think that we've got to basically put the foot down on their throat and choke them out. They're limping. They're a dying horse on the ground. We got to stop being Dr. Tottenham. Last year, we earned that title of going in there and helping teams like this that were already in turmoil, that were already hurting. And what did we do? We nursed them back to health and gave them life again. No more giving these teams the lease on life. We got to go in there and show full-blooded mentality. Cut these bastards up completely. Leave them on the ground bleeding and crying. I want every Chelsea player leaving their own ground just scared of a cockerel and of every bird they see for the next month. Anything that goes by them with wings, I want them that terrified after they play us. And like Danny already said, I think Conte's the shark in the water and the blood's in the water, and he is circling, and he's going to make sure these boys go in there and take a chunk out of what should be taken out. No more Dr. Tottenham. That's all I'm hoping for. If we leave there with a draw even and we play a game, I'll be fine with that. But I think if we play the way we're supposed to play, and the fact that they're coming off playing an almost relegated Everton, needing a penalty, 9 minutes of extra time to get the win over there, I think we have a very, very solid chance to finally break this curse of Stamford Bridge and get a result over there. And I think this is the time. These are the opportunities we must take. We must take these opportunities. We've got the players in. Like you just mentioned, we had Doughboy playing at the left back. We've got our right players playing the right positions. Only Longley, I believe, is not available, and Perisic is not 100% fit. So other than that, we've got a full squad to go in there. We've got additions that can actually change the game for us a little bit. So I'm honestly hoping that we go in there and give him a thrashing. I'd like to see Richarlison come on late in the game and just put the nail in the coffin kind of thing. I hope by then that we're up 2-3-1 or something like that, and he comes on late and finds the back of the net. There you go. So I hope he comes on late and actually does even put in a brace and let's walk out of there. I'm saying 3-1, but I'd love to see us walk out of there 4-5-0.
Yeah, do you know what, Bobby? As well, like Richarlison loves scoring against Chelsea as well. I think that'd be just the most priceless derby if we were winning. If it was drawing and he comes on like in the last 10 minutes and scores the winner. Oh my God, there'll be absolute scenes.
Well, this is a thing. I mean, you look at it. You can even see it in the comments, and you can actually hear it on all the Spurs streams this week. I know normally we go into this game and it's tunnel vision. Yeah, we're going to win. Yeah, we're going to do bits. When you know what's going to happen. I always say when we go to Stamford Bridge, it's like don't even get cocky or don't get, because you know what's going to happen. But I can't remember a time in my lifetime, in my entire lifetime, of going to the bridge and feeling so confident. I cannot remember a time. You look at that, like you said. I actually think Richarlison is going to come on and score. What a way, because I mean. Danny, you were all for Rafinha rather than Richarlison, but obviously Richarlison is here. But what a way to him to endear fans if he comes off the bench, scores a winner.
Brian, he'll be a cult hero straight away. It's as simple as that.
When Danny Rose scored that volley against the filth, it'll be just like, there you go. there you go. You've ended another hoodoo. All right, we did it a few years ago, but every time that we go to this game, obviously, especially at the Bridge, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And normally, what Chelsea have normally done is get their business done early, so they get a pre-season with their team, so they can play, and then they're ready. Where this year, that's exactly what we've done. And this year there's Conte, and this year there's Kulu, this year there's Romero, this year there'll be the amount of players that we have now available that are going to come on and make a difference. And I don't think Chelsea are ready at all. I think someone said in the comments, I can't remember where it was, Danny, about Koulibaly might not even be fit. So if Koulibaly's
really?
there,
Well, he was only apparently at 70% last game, and he was apparently struggling towards the end of the Everton game. So
so let him struggle against Kane, Kulu, and
I hope he starts.
I mean, they're not gonna have the person who always scores against them, which is Alonso. So they're not gonna have him. They're not gonna have Kovacic because he's out. I don't know if Jorginho's still out or not, if he's going to be injured or not. I know he played last game, but I was speaking to my sister's fiance, who's a Chelsea fan, and he said he might not play. So I don't know if that's true or not. They're struggling for numbers at the moment. And Pete, I've been hearing like loads of people talking about Sterling and how he's going to be the biggest threat. For me, Sterling never has a good game against us. Never. He always gets shut out every single time. Whenever he was playing for Man City, when did he ever score a goal against us? He hardly ever scored a goal against us because we just know how to shut him out. That's the thing. And I think you put someone like Romero on him, he's not gonna win that battle. No way. No way.
I think we'll have Phoebe on toast, and everyone who will know I call Raheem Sterling Phoebe. I'm going to tell you something you'll never see. Once you've seen it, you'll never unsee it. If the 196 people watching, I guarantee a large proportion of them used to watch Friends. And if you go back to that episode when Phoebe runs, that's Raheem. Watch Raheem Sterling run on Sunday. That is Raheem Sterling. But yeah, I honestly think we're just going to have too much for them. I really, really do. So what we'll do, we'll do our quick score predictions, and then we'll start getting people on. So we'll get people on. So Danny, what's your score prediction?
So I was saying my heart is saying 2-1. My head is saying it's going to be a 2-2 draw. But I'm going to go with my heart because I have to. And I just feel that we can actually do it. So I'm going to say 2-1 Spurs.
So you go. I'm going to
say Richarlison the winner.
Bobby?
I'm going to stick to my original prediction. My head and my heart both say 3-1. And my deluded Spurs side of me says 5-0 you Spurs. Come on.
What did you say? 5-0?
5-0. I want to give them a bashing. 3-1 is my realistic, but my deluded Spurs side of me would love to walk out of there with a 5-0 bashing of them.
My deluded side is saying 5-4-1, mate. That's what I think.
Well, if
could happen.
That's Bob's. I don't want to steal everything from Bob. I'm using his name. I'm using his skin tone. I can't steal his scoreline.
You know what? If it was 5-0, I would actually put a stupid bet on. But I've learned my lesson. I'm not doing it because I know what will happen. Or what I will do, stupid, is my shirt, my T-shirt, the famous shirt that we don't lose in, and it's not going to change on Sunday, is still in the freezer and has been in the freezer since Sunday or Saturday. It's been in the freezer since Saturday. But thank God it's summer here, because if I have to put this in the freezer in winter and then walk to the Scotland Yard when it's minus 40 degrees, I'm not going to be having I'm going to be getting pneumonia. But I'm going. So my head is saying 2-1 to us. My heart is saying 3-1. And I'm kind of going with my heart. And I am going to say Richarlison for the winner. I've just got that feeling. I think it's just written in the stars. So now we're going to start bringing the guests on. And when you come on, guys, we're going to give you the show to talk about whatever you want, any of the topics that we've spoken about or anything you want to bring up. I think we'll do what we normally do, Danny. We set a 10-minute timer so everyone gets the same amount of time.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Danny, and the echo is gone. There's no issue.
No, I can't hear it now.
Jumping back.
I'm just going to mute you, mate, so you can't say anything if it happens again.
Well, that's the only way to get me to stop talking anyways. So
exactly.
We're going to bring on the first guest, who is a brand new caller, first time, I believe. So let's bring on Annie. How you doing, Annie?
Hi guys.
All right,
How you
Annie,
doing?
how are you,
Annie?
mate?
Fine. Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
Is it Ani or
Yeah,
Annie?
good.
It's Anirudh, but short for
Anil.
Anu?
Anirudh. Yeah, I mean,
Anil.
But,
And where are you? Where are you calling from, Anil?
I'm at San Jose, California.
Oh, nice.
So
So
Oh,
what
wicked.
time zone is that? Is that Eastern like we are?
it's Pacific Standard.
So you're behind. Okay, wicked. So
Yeah,
this show
behind
is
you
good
guys.
for you guys because obviously you
It's
get to come
amazing.
up. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's welcome to have you. So your 10 minutes starts now. I know what do you want to talk about, buddy?
I'm just feeling pretty optimistic about this season, man. Can't wait to finish in the top 4 again. Hopefully, give the title a challenge. I can't wait for this game this Sunday. It's gonna be tasty, like you guys said. Hopefully it's a 5-0, but mine says it's a 3-0 or 3-1 for me. Um, can't wait to watch Kulusevski this season. I think he's gonna smash it, man. I feel like he needs to get talked about a bit more in terms of Foden, Mount, and on all the youngsters in the Premier League that get talked about, and I feel like he's just not there for some weird reason. And yeah, I feel like Chelsea Tottenham's just, I mean, that mental block that the players have and the fans have, not being able to, beat them either at home or away. I feel like, I can't wait to watch that just go away this season, hopefully, with the new additions we've got in and how Conte has just improved the squad, because I think that's remarkable. To turn Ben Davies into like what he's turned him into, and Dyer to be reformed, and even Sessegnon and Doherty for that latter end of the season before he got injured. I really like the performances, so I'm really optimistic about this season.
Like you were saying, are you in agreement that right now, in all the time that we've had, there has never been a better time? The way that Chelsea are in a mess, the way that do you think this is the best time and the best opportunity we'll ever have to take 3 points?
100%, 100%. There were some people that were saying at the back end of last season when we went on to that role, but I feel like after this transfer window, when they've, when Christensen's gone, they've lost all, like most of their defenders, and Koulibaly and Sterling have only been their notable, and now Cucurella incomings. But I feel like, they were in turmoil this season in terms of there was a whole new admin that came in. Todd Bowley became their director, and he's new on the job. He hasn't learned, at least in terms of football. He's a baseball guy. He's coming from the Dodgers, so I feel like in terms of how strong we are, I feel like we've picked up right where we were at last season in terms of beating Southampton 4-1, and we're looking really good offensively as well as defensively. And we've got options. We've got options off the bench, which I feel like we didn't really have last season. Last season we were performing well, but we didn't have a Bissouma to come in the midfield. We didn't have a Richarlison to come in off the bench and play in those derbies and play in those games where he's such an impactful player. And so yeah, that's why I feel like this season and just this time is the best time to play Chelsea and to break that mental aspect and that mental block that we have against them.
I completely agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, I think the best thing what we've done is definitely, because I've been saying this to a lot of people on Twitter and social media, that in my opinion, Bissouma and Perisic are the only 2 players out of the 6 that we brought in right now that instantly improve this starting 11. That go into it and they're better than what we have already. I think the rest of the players, like Longley, he could be better than Davis in the long term. We don't know yet. Spence could be better than what we have. We don't know yet, etc., etc. And I think that, but what we do have, I think, like the bench option is key. I mean, Conte brought on 5 substitutions just because he could against Southampton, and I think he was kind of saying, like, well, we're already winning this now. We might as well just chuck them on and just give them some minutes, sort of thing. And I think the luxury of having that is just, it's going to be a game changer in terms of the rotation, and I think to keep players fit, keep them hungry, because we know that Conte is he's the type of manager to rotate players, and I think. I agree. I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I feel like in terms of the additions that we've made. A lot of people are calling for that other centre back, which I do
Mm.
think we need a bit of competition for Dyer because we don't have that yet. I know Langley can play at that centre back position, but I feel like we still need a bit of competition for him as Rodon's gone out. But apart from that, in terms of an attacking midfielder, I know we're really keen on Zaniolo and we're really keen on Madison as well. A lot of our fans are, at least. But I, in terms of playing that 3-4-3 and playing with those two midfielders, I feel like we couldn't be better off than having Bentancur, Bissouma, and even Skip coming back from injury. He was
Yeah,
tremendous when he was playing last season,
it's true.
when fit. And I feel like I don't understand how Zaniolo and Madison are going to fit into that system, because as far as I know, Madison likes to play behind that striker, and we don't play that system. We play a system where, our creativity really comes from the wings and from the wing
Hmm.
backs. And Kulusevski is also playing a pretty creative role this season, and I think he's a perfect partner for Kane and Son,
I
really,
agree.
which we didn't have for the longest time, right? And we didn't really have that creative player like Christian Eriksen after he left. We kind of had that void, and I think we filled it now with Kulusevski. And in terms of having that attacking firepower, I don't think we could have gone with anything better than Richarlison, at least in terms of Premier League proven. He's quite the player, thrives on big occasions, and yeah. But at least I'm really happy with the additions, which we've been left a bit wanting in the past few transfer windows.
Anil, would you make any changes if you were Conte and you could
Yeah.
make some substitutions or change the starting 11? Would there be any changes you would make to what started on Saturday?
In terms of that, I feel like I don't know what the level of fitness Doherty is at. I feel like Emerson, but I feel like he gave whatever he could, and I don't think we can knock that. I think he gave an assist to Kulusevski. He had a pretty decent game. Apart from him, I feel like even the two in midfield, Højbjerg and Bentancur, I feel like Basuma is the only option we have as of right now to bring in, and I feel like they just work so well that unless one of them drops off, I don't feel like we need to bring in another person. Defensively was solid. Lloris is never gonna go. Foster's not starting. And I feel like if Perisic, becomes a bit more fit and Sessegnon is dropping off, because I feel like he had a monster game, right? I feel like he had one of the best games. He
Yep.
scored for the first time in a Spurs shirt. And we can't really ask for more in terms of the players that were already playing. And for right now, I wouldn't change anything. And just, I don't want to bring in big names such as Perisic and all those players in just because they're big names. I feel like what Conte is doing is that they have to prove themselves in order to get into the starting 11. Just because your Perisic doesn't mean you're going to get into that. If Sessegnon is scoring goals and he's giving assists, there's no reason for him to be out of the team. And so for that reason, I wouldn't change anybody right now.
Do you know what, Neil? You're bang on right there. This has been great talking to you. What do you think about? Let's talk about the two people finally leaving us in Lo Celso and Ndombele. How happy, on a scale of happy to delighted, are you?
I'd put it on very happy. I think what would have made me delighted was that if we could have gotten an obligation to buy for either one of them. And I feel like we haven't gotten that. We've gotten a buy option for both of them, I believe, if I'm not
So,
mistaken.
Neil, what happens? Apparently, it's an option to buy for Napoli, but
Yeah.
if they get top four, that option becomes an obligation.
Becomes the obligation. Okay.
So the Celso, the details haven't come out yet, but
Yeah.
it looks like Undon Bad Boy, Undon Bye Bye. There, he's finally going.
Ndombele.
He's just been. It's the one we wanted out all summer.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
100%. I'm really delighted that they're out of the club right now, and they don't have to train alone or anything like that, and they're getting playing time, because you never want to see a player that has that higher of quality as such as Ndombele and Lo Celso, both of them. They're really talented players, and they should be getting playing time. It's just their mentality, in terms of Ndombele at least, hasn't. We all know what type of mentality he's got, but we also know what ability he's got. And you obviously want to see him playing week in and week out, but if he's not got the mentality, then he's not got the mentality to succeed over here, at least. But apart from that, it's good, because I would like to see them succeed at other clubs because they're former players of Spurs. But at the same time, I would also like some cash and to get some investment back for what we've paid. And yeah, if we can get that next season, then I feel like we'll be even more scary in terms of getting Champions League football again. And on top of that, we'll be getting the money for both Lo Celso and Ndombele, and we couldn't be in a better position financially, at least after letting both of them go. And so yeah, I'm pretty happy about both of them at least finally getting a loan move and
So-
getting out of the club.
I don't know how you did that, but that you just finished just as the alarm. That was great timing.
Yeah.
Anil, honestly, it was brilliant having you on. Thanks for coming on. And
Yeah, enjoyed it, man.
this show will be every Friday, mate, and it's made for
Yeah.
people like yourselves that are in different time zones to when the boys can't do it. So we'd love to see you on whenever you can get on, mate. But big up for your
100%.
first call, and it was great
Thank
speaking
you,
to you,
man.
buddy.
Yeah, lovely.
See you
guys
later,
later.
my man.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Big,
Big
up,
up
man.
Spurs, yeah.
Bye bye.
Come on.
There we go. So, what a great first call. What a great first call.
Brilliant. I couldn't agree more with everything Anil was saying.
Oh, big up to Anil. It was fantastic with what he's saying. But now we've got someone to come on if he's going to turn his camera on, or I hope he hasn't fallen asleep at his camera.
Wait. Hold on. Did you check the private chat there, Brian, before you?
Let's just
Because he had said put him on last. That's why.
Okay, so we'll
So
put him on
maybe
last.
he does want to take his nap first.
Okay, let him get his beauty sleep in.
Nap
So
time.
we'll go up, and it's someone that you would have seen on We Are Tottenham TV before. In fact, the next two would have been. So it is Hassan. So Hassan, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Don't worry, brother.
Good.
I'm
It's
doing
to
good.
talk to you, mate. Your 10 minutes starts now. So what do you want to start with, buddy?
Big up my time.
I think we'll start off with the transfer window.
Let's do
I
it.
think it's the first transfer window for me that I've seen a clear plan. Really, I think that's a lot to do with Paratici. I think people on Twitter, Instagram, they'll have their opinions on the quality of players, but I think for me, when Conte went to Paratici and Daniel Levy, he asked for a right wing back, left wing back, centre back, midfielder, a backup goalkeeper, and a forward. And regardless of the quality, he got all those players, right?
True.
And look, everything's not going to go to plan. I would have loved Bastoni. I would have loved Lautaro Martinez. I would have loved all these players. But sometimes, you got to deal with what you got. And the fact that we've got those players in is something that I'm happy with, because in previous times, we've just put money on the last day of the transfer window and got some random player. I think Joe Rodon's a perfect example, right? He's just some person. We didn't have a centre back plan. We didn't have a list of targets, and we're like, okay, we'll get him from the championship, right? We didn't want something like that to happen. So I think apart from the players we've got in, it shows a change in sort of the way we're operating. I know it's only been one transfer window, and we'll have to see the next couple ones, but just the way that we're slowly transforming with Conte and Paratici, because Daniel Levy has never brought players in early under any manager, under Pochettino, under Jose Mourinho, and then suddenly Conte comes in and boom, everything's done before the season starts, and there could still be more possible signings. So I think it's really given us a really good base to improve on from last season, and I think that's what Conte wants, and which is why you haven't heard any sort of mumblings or he's unhappy with the window and stuff like that, because he's got what he's asked for.
Do you know what? I think you're bang on the money. That's what we got to look at. A lot of people won't be happy with all the players we signed.
Yeah,
and that's just because people have different thoughts of different ways that players come.
Exactly.
The most important thing is obviously, did Conte want them? Is Conte happy they're here? Is Conte happy? Which he is. Let's face it, he is.
Yeah.
I still want more. And you got to remember, if we get rid of now Ndombele, Lo Celso, Wings, Reguilon, and only bring in two more, yes, we've saved a lot of money, but the quality we would have definitely improved. Definitely 100% improved.
Yeah.
But the quantity and depth still needs to be added upon. So that's the part. But you know what? For a first window to do all this, what we've done, it is outstanding. But if you now had the choice that you could bring in one big player in what position? It doesn't have to be the name. What position do you want?
I think centre back, just for the reason I'm sure Conte probably wants an attacking midfielder to change between the 3-4-3 and the 3-5-2, which he uses. But I think people forget that we have Kulusevski, and in multiple interviews, even recently in the tour of Korea, he said he sees himself as a number 10, but he's been most successful as a right winger. And you've seen that with some of his passing and his vision against Southampton. He can be that creative player. He's got the skills. He's not the quickest, but you don't have to be super quick as a number 10. So he can definitely switch in there. But I think if we were to choose one, it has to be a centre back, because if Romero gets injured, right, touch wood, he doesn't. But if he gets injured, it's what, Davies, Dyer, and Sanchez. And whilst that's fine for the Premier League, they got us through those last 3 games. If you're up against PSG and you've got Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar charging at Sanchez and Dyer,
No, don't.
it's wraps. It's done. So it's that thing which I think we need a centre back. I don't know if that's our priority at the moment. I think it's an attacking midfielder. I think a centre back would come if there's some nice opportunity that comes up in the market. Maybe there's a good player for 10, 15 million pounds. And we think, oh yeah, let's go get him. But for me personally, it has to be a centre back.
Okay. And Bobby, you got any questions here? It's been me and Dave. You got very quiet.
No. Just you got your guests on and everything, and you know what, to bring in valid points and everything, and a lot of the things that are true. I just, the only thing I kind of disagree with is the fact that we're not done, and I don't think Conte's fully satisfied with the window. I think he's partially satisfied. I think that we're going in the right direction. I definitely think that we're on the right path. There's no doubting that. This can't be the end of our business, though. Not with the outgoings that we have. Like you guys touched on, the fact that we still have the numbers game. We still have a large squad to maintain. Conte made it very clear that if you don't have 2 players at least that can start in every single position, you're not prepared to take on all these competitions. It's just not going to happen. So although we're almost there, still work to be done. I'm hoping in the next few weeks of the windows that we continue to do smart business. I don't want to buy players just for the sake of buying players and filling spots. I want to continue to do smart business. Bentancur, smart business. Kulu, smart business. Richarlison, I think is smart business. The only argument you're going to see on that is the fee we paid. But I've said this 1,000 times. He doesn't determine his market value. The market determines his value. So that's what we had to pay for him. 3 years left on his contract. That's what we had to pay for him. They paid 45 million down the street for us for a player that had 1 year left on his contract and was a bench warmer. We took the starting striker from a team who could play pretty much anywhere and could arguably be the sole reason that they even stayed in the Premiership last year. We took that guy for 15 million more, and we know what a danger man he is. And the fact that the one thing, and I know Danny's going to agree with this, the fact that he's just a little shit. We needed that in our team. We just needed somebody, those guys that are just going to get under the skin of the other player and just give them that cheeky wink and that little smile, enough to just kind of just wind them up even more, to making that stupid tackle and getting themselves carded and putting themselves in dangerous positions where they even get give up free kicks and stuff like that. So although we are on the right path, we're far from the finished article, but I do think that we have something gelling and brewing this season that we should all, as a fan base, be very excited for.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Asa, Delsey.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
It's. I think. Okay, I don't want to be the big, downer and bring everyone's down, but I think we just have to keep our confidence within. Obviously, I think in terms of the best time to play Chelsea is definitely now. Our team's probably the best it's been for a while against Chelsea. So those two things coming together screams, oh, it's a win. But like so many people have said, and like we all know, it doesn't matter if we've gone on a 15 unbeaten run and they've lost all their games. Somehow when it comes there, they start playing tiki-taka football and we get...
Yeah, exactly. I said that. We could be 19th and they could be on a 10-game losing streak and somehow they give us a game when we go there. Yeah. So... Yeah, it's just frustrating.
So it's just about to keep our to ourselves, but I think we'll come on top just because they don't have a lot of goal scoring threat. Yes. I think if you look at midfield and defense, you can argue who's got the better defense, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. But I think having Son, Kane, and Kulu up front compared to whatever Havertz, whoever they have, it's just light and day. So I think that's going to be the big thing that's going to shift in our favor.
I don't think we should be deluded though, because on paper they have a very good team, but I think they have a severely overrated manager. I think Tuchel is going to be exposed for being the fact that he is not that great of a manager.
Get sacked. I think he's the first manager to get sacked or walks this summer or this season. Sorry.
But you're saying that right, but you got to remember this is not. No, I don't either. Do you know why? Because this is not Abramovich, man. He's not a hire and fire. This guy, Bowley, he wants to build something. And what I'm seeing is that he's been talking a lot with Tuchel about the players that he wants to bring in, and a lot of the players that come in is because Tuchel wants them, not just that Bowley wants them. And they're building a team for Tuchel, and I think I can't see them sacking him, Brian. Honestly, in my opinion. You got to remember,
walking. I said,
you got to remember, Brian, right? You got to remember, right? Abramovich was a very, very ruthless owner. As soon as they started playing badly, he'd sack them.
Fired Conte.
Exactly. That's why they're the most successful team in the last 20 years in the Premier League, right? They are the most successful team, right? You have to remember that. And the thing is, what I've seen so far, if they go and bring in De Jong and Aubameyang to what they've already bought in, that is a bloody fucking team. That's a challenging team. I'm telling you that for a fact, because Aubameyang is not a bad player. He just fell out with Arteta. Obviously, being on the max wages he was on, he just didn't want to play there anymore. And he went to Barcelona. He was scoring goals for fun as soon as he's got into that Barca team. And now they've got Lewandowski. It's like, well, are they going to keep? He's not going to be the main man anymore. You go and put him with De Jong, Mason Mount, Sterling, Havertz in that team, Cucurella, Reece James. He's going to score goals for fun. I'm telling you. So I think it's going to be a dangerous team if they get
the part about Tuchel getting sacked. He might walk. I don't know, but I think if I was had to put my money on one manager to move, probably Steven Gerrard at this point, or Frank Lampard. I think Gerrard, he hasn't had the best record at Aston Villa. He's been back tremendously in the summer, so. That's my thing on that. But I think Tuchel, like you said, if he gets those players, Fofana, Aubameyang, De Jong, I mean, all of a sudden you're looking at that transfer window and it's just back onto it saying, they might go for the title.
There you go. Well, I thought it was great speaking to you again, buddy.
No worries.
Have a great weekend and hopefully we'll see you back on the show next week.
Will do.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
Man.
See you later, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. About to bring on the next person, but I forgot we have a couple of super chats.
I was just going to say, though, but what Danny said, though, you add De Jong and Aubameyang pretty much to any team, and it improves them. Even if you were to add them to us, we could say it improves us. De Jong is just absolutely phenomenal. I'm shocked with the situation that's going on over there, and their Barcelona's misfortune is going to be somebody's serious joy.
Yep.
It looks like it's going to be Chelsea's because they've spent the most money so far. They're going to keep spending because they've got £250 million they can spend, and that's without them putting more money into the club if they wanted to spend money. So they've already spent 177 million or something like that. So they could go and get Aubameyang. He's not going to cost like ridiculous wage a transfer fee. It's De Jong that will cost the most, but they could go. They've already spent. It's ridiculous. They've just gone and got Cucurella as their left wing back with Chilwell. They've got Reece James. They might go and get another right wing back to compete with Reece James. Then you're looking at De Jong to add to that midfield that they've got. And if they go and bring Aubameyang, and then they keep maybe what's the striker's name, Borja or something, whatever his name is, the guy was on loan
that they just brought over from Southampton.
Yeah, no, he was on loan at Southampton.
I think he's
just come back though from
still at Chelsea.
I heard he was going to West Ham.
No, he's come back now, right?
He played on the weekend, didn't he? He played.
Okay,
he played against Everton.
Mate, shows how much I pay attention to that fucking.
But no, like if they kept all of those players, then they've got a serious squad. Like, Borja, that's it. Someone mentioned it in a comment. Thank you for that.
So, right, we'll get through these super chats. Then we got one more person before we bring Nick.
Before you do, I think this guy could be the first one out the door. This man. It's Frankie Lampard.
That's what I'm betting on.
I think he's going to be the first one out the door.
I'll tell you what, let's see who people put in the comments for first out the door. I've said it's either going to be Tuchel or Brendan Rodgers. I think Brendan Rodgers could be the one. But we got two super chats to get through. First one is Dermot from Tottenham Till I Die. Big up, Brian. or big up Brian. Brian and panel. We will win on Sunday. We will win 2-1. Great shows, Guy. Keep up the great work. Thank you, buddy. And then we have a super sticker from XC, and the super sticker. I wish StreamYard could bring up super stickers. It's something saying he's tired. So we're happy to keep you up.
Got a cup of coffee. He's got a cup of coffee.
There you
Cup
go.
of coffee, that's what it is.
That's what it is. So yeah. So let's bring on the next person for his 10 minutes.
Coffee cup.
And everyone will know this now. I've got a song for one person here. Bobby K has got his song, and this guy has his own intro. It's me. It's me. It's KP.
Hello.
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Kyle.
And
What's
we're
up, Bobby?
live.
Oh my God. What's up, boys?
How are you, Kyle? It's good to see you, man.
Your 10 minutes start now, Carl, brother. What do you want to talk about, brother?
I've got to talk about the game first, don't I?
Then let's talk about the game first.
Whatever makes you happy, Kyle.
Yeah. Obviously, we haven't won there since 2018.
Yep.
Yeah. But we beat them 3-1 twice in the same year, the Bridge, and then it was at Wembley. So why can't we beat them 3-1 again? Like, I would love nothing more than to beat them 3-1 again. Like, I hate these lot, but I hate Arsenal more than I hate these lot.
Go on, Carl.
So everyone knows I can't stand these lot because I just don't like them.
So what would you do, Carl? Would you stay with the same 11 that beat Southampton, or are you making changes?
I'd probably make just one change. One.
What's the change, Carl?
I start Perisic for Sessegnon. Yeah, I know Sessegnon scored his first Premier League goal, but that's, I believe, second goal for Spurs. His first goal came against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Yeah, but so I start Perisic over Sessegnon. But yeah, like, I'd love nothing more than Sessegnon to score again. So, but I've got to go for Perisic to start over Sess.
So Carl, let me ask you a question about that. Would you rather, apparently he's not 100% fit right now, would you rather have a, let's just say 80% or whatever fitness he is, Perisic start and Sessegnon come and finish it off, or would you rather a fit Sessegnon and then right at the end of the game, or when Chelsea starts to get tired and they're into the game, bring on a almost fit Perisic to just destroy them? So would you rather start him and then have him come off, or because he won't play 90 minutes if he's not 100%, or would you rather he come on off the bench?
Like, well, I'd start Sessegnon, then maybe bring on Perisic to destroy them because he did knock him out of the Champions League when he was at Bayern Munich. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
There you go. There you
There
go.
you go.
And what else you want to talk about, Carl?
I've got to talk about the transfer window, innit? Like,
Off you go, brother.
I think I hear we're after this guy from Udinese who, yeah, I think a deal's been agreed. We're after, what's the guy's name from Udinese we're after?
Oh, Destiny Aduje.
Yeah, like,
You know, it's not a Duje, Brian. You know, it's actually pronounced Udogi.
Yeah, no,
Alistair
I
Bowler.
was watching that.
Yeah,
Go on,
did you
bro.
watch it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched it. I watched it, but I completely butchered it. Even after watching it, I still got it wrong. But yeah, Carl, what do you want to say about Destiny?
I think he's good. Like, he'll be a great player, but like, yeah, I think he's going to do great with the players we have at the moment. Like, oh, big up, Wolf, big up.
Are you really in the back cave?
I don't have a back cave, man. Seriously,
Tell Batman I said hi, Kyle.
yeah, big up, Wolf. I don't have a back cave. Don't know what the fuck you're looking at. But I don't have one. I wish I did. But that's not true. But yeah, I think he's going to do great. And I can't wait to see him in a Spurs shirt. But if we can sell those four at the one Ndombele's going to Napoli.
Exactly. How happy are you with that, Carl?
Like, I think I am quite happy, though. When we first bought him, I thought he was going to do great, but Pochettino was the one who actually bought him, not the managers we've already had, but Poch was the one who actually brought Berger and Giovanni Le Shit Show, as David calls them. Yeah.
Actually, Cole, did your shirt get delivered today?
I think so, yeah.
your
Kulusevski won. Kulusevski, yeah.
How happy were you with him and his performance on Saturday? And will he do it again on Sunday?
Of course he will. Like, as people already know, I was out at a concert during a game, but I managed to check the result. We were 1-0 down because Ward-Prowse always seems to turn up. But yeah, we won 4-1. Brilliant game, but he's going to do it again on Sunday. He's going to do it. Kulu to score a hat-trick.
Kulu to score a hat-trick?
Yeah. Like,
so I've got on this show the Kulu hat-trick delusion, the 5-0 delusion from Bobby, the what did you say, Danny, for delusion? Or actually, you've been quite level-headed, haven't you?
No, he's been level-headed. It's really weird.
So we've got a Kulu hat-trick, a 5-0 and a 4-1. Okay, next stop, Delusionville.
Come on, Danny, jump on the deluded train with us. Chug it, baby, chug it.
I knew that was coming.
9-0, come on, 9-0, Danny, say it.
What? 9? We haven't scored 9 since 2009.
Hey, this is Danny's delusion, Kyle. Come on now.
Oh, Danny. Jesus. I knew he was going to bring that up. But imagine the scenes. If we scored 9, Stamford Bridge would be walking, and the Spurs fans would be going absolutely mental if that happened.
I would tell you now, if that was to happen, not that it will, I can tell you the Scotland Yard won't know what's hit them, because I will go 1 billion% higher than I normally do, and I'm not very quiet when I'm in that pub. Yeah, 9-0 I think is just a little bit too far. I think 4-1 is just a little bit too far. But what did you say, Carl? What are you going for?
3-1 again, 3 times. Let's make that a hat trick of 3-1 wins. 2 at the Bridge.
Who's scoring, Carl?
I've got to go for Ginger from Sweden, ain't I?
Oh yeah, you said you reckon he's going to get a hat trick?
Give me a Ginger from Sweden.
Came from Juventus and he plays on the wing.
If he gets a hat trick, then he's my favourite Spurs player. No offence to Kane or Son or that, but he's my favourite Spurs player right now. He's on fire.
I agree, KPV. He's my favourite Spurs player right now as well.
He's your favourite player right now, Danny?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. You just have to watch him, right? The guy is an absolute genius. He's technically unbelievable. His crossing is phenomenal. His passing is brilliant. He's a very, very, very intelligent player. His acceleration to beat a man, I haven't seen that in a long time. And it reminds me of Ian Robben. Like, he doesn't have the raw pace like Ian Robben used to have and the agility, but what he does have, actually, you could say agility, because what he does have is when he's up against his man, when he's running, he'll just do that extra burst of pace and he just goes straight past them like they're not even there. And it's always when he's up against his man, when he's close to him, the way he can just beat a man like that and put that ball in the back of the net, or put a pass into the box or a cross. Bateau just said it, left foot wand. He's phenomenal. He honestly, this guy, I think, is going to be one of the best players on the planet in the next couple of years. If he keeps that level-headedness that he has, that humbleness, which you see in him, and the other thing as well, you see is the mentality to want to be better every day. He reminds me of what Son used to say every time he was in an interview. I want to be better. I want to be better. I want to be better. I'm still not good enough. And like he's got that kind of Harry Kane, Son kind of mentality where he will never stop trying to improve. And I think if he keeps that and keeps that desire, this kid's going to go all the way to the top. He's going to be one of the best Premier League players in the years to come. I think he could be the heir to. He'll be the next star, our star player. As long as Conte's there, this kid's going to be phenomenal.
Bobby, who's your favorite player?
Geez, come on, man. I don't really like answering this question when Danny's around, but you know it's Winks.
You see, Kyle. That's the delusion right there, Kyle.
I thought you loved Eric Dyer, Bobby.
It's the meds. No, that's Big K. Big K loves Dyer. Little man loves Sonny. So I'd love to say Sonny, but I don't want to just side with one of my kids, especially when the big one is sitting in earshot of me. So that'll cause issues. I don't want to. It's hard to say for me right now who my one favorite player is. I'm gonna have to side with Little K and say Sonny, because I just love the way the guy plays and the smile he plays with on his face. Not because of his sheer talent, but just because of his characteristics of as a human being and as a footballer, and his work rate, and the fact that he keeps his head down, mouth shut, and just gets his job done, and he does it with a damn smile on his face. It's just infectious. The guy is just, we say that we want to avoid black cloud mentality. He is a ray of sunshine, man. Sonny is fucking sunny all the time, and that's the one thing I absolutely adore about that guy. So I know Big K is gonna be really pissed off with me when I end the stream now, but hey, some things you got to take. So I'll stick with Sonny.
Okay, so Kyle, last words, mate, because 10 minutes is up. What, you're going 3-1. Where are you watching the game? And I can see you're wearing your Conte shirt ready, so you'll be wearing your lucky shirt as well.
I'll be wearing a Kulu shirt, actually, mate.
Oh, yeah, your Kulu shirt. So where are you going to be watching the match?
I'll be in a pub with the Spurs fans watching the game, as I've been to the pub watching that game before. And that was April Fool's Day 2018 in Stansted Abbott, mate. So I'm in Bishop Stortford.
Have a wicked night and weekend, KPV, and we'll speak very, very soon.
Great to see you, Kyle.
Yep. And as always, back Conte.
Damn right. Back Conte. See you later, KPV.
Yeah, mate. Later.
And I'm very, very happy with the next guest coming on. He put in a super chat before, and I'm always happy to speak to this guy. So I want to big up and say hello to my boy Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Big up, Brandon.
Hey.
How we doing, brother?
What's going on? What a beautiful idea to actually appreciate the people who are over in the UK. Heck yeah.
That's what we decided. We said, obviously, the boys, Brandon, as you know, do so much work, and we've spoken when you have been awake. But we're like, listen, the boys do so much work in that studio, but when they go home, there's all the people in the other parts of the world that they get to miss. So we thought, let's do this show for them. And there is talk that we may be doing after game shows as well. So after matches, there may be a late We Are Tottenham TV show. So you guys, again, can be part of it. But Brandon, your 10 minutes, brother, starts now. What do you want to talk about, big man?
Well, and we got the Irish flat cap, so triple threat. That's fantastic. And I mean, what an exciting time to be a Spurs fan. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I think about Spurs, and I go, "Whoa, it's an amazing feeling." And I've spent my entire life as a football fan in agony. Like, I'm a little younger than some, and so I've been on this earth like 23 years, and in my time, I must have not been able to say "dada" when Spurs last won a title. I mean, it's insanity. I genuinely think that the sky is the limit for us. The only person who can get in our way is Sir Daniel Levy.
I agree.
Hey, watch the language. Watch the language, man.
He's right. I mean,
it's a watching.
Hey,
kids are watching. What the fuck?
You got to remember, like I said, the first time Brandon came on We Are Tottenham TV was when I was saying about getting my Conte tattoo, and he took a shot of olive oil and all Italian things because Conte was coming. And he's just been incredible, hasn't he, Brandon?
Oh, I mean, I genuinely thought that I was living in a dream world when this happened. And I said, this is going to happen next year. Next year, we're going to be there 100%. We're winning the league. This year, you know what? Who's to say no? Leicester won the league a few years ago. Man City, not the team they were last year. Not to say that they won't be better. They might. But they're different. You never know how long it's going to take to gel. I mean, they looked pretty good against West Ham, but Liverpool, definitely not the same team. People are really underestimating how valuable Mane was to that team. Because Salah, don't get me wrong, world class, but the man has his off days. He is not the most of the upper echelon, say top 10 most world-class players in the world. He's up there, definitely, but he's the most inconsistent out of the lot by a country mile in my eyes. We're primed. We're primed to surprise people, and let's start it on Sunday. And I'm just over the moon. I can't contain my excitement. The only thing I'm a little hesitant about is if we go and sign a new center back. If we can't get Bastoni or Vardio this summer, I don't want one. To be honest, there is at least not a left-sided center back. Those two guys, if we show what kind of project we've got coming, why wouldn't they want to come to us?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if Conte is here next year and he's, maybe signs a new long-term contract, why not? If we're going to sign a center back, it's got to be someone who's cover for the central or right center back positions. Cannot be a left-sided center back. Ben Davies, we got to put faith in that man because he's a warrior. He's Beowulf writing an epic poem for us all to be bewildered by. I mean, it's incredible, his revelation. And I think Longley could be a very, very adequate cover. So I mean, that's my center back situation.
Brandon, do you think that Longley could actually overtake Ben Davies as that left centre back? Because from what I've seen, I think it looks like they brought in Longley because they can't get their top targets in Gvardio or Bastoni, and I think that. What I'm thinking of, because obviously when he was playing his best football, when Barcelona bought him, as he was one of the best young left centre-sided players in Europe at the time, he was playing in a back three in Sevilla. And the last couple of years, 2 years at Barcelona, he's been playing in a back four. And obviously he's had all his fallout and his kind of down form and all this kind of thing. He's lost his confidence. Do you think that he could like imagine what Conte did with Davis last season? Could you think that he could do the same with Longley, who's actually a better player anyway? Because could you imagine? Do you think that could happen? Do you think he could overtake him and he could be a star in the team?
I hope so. The only hesitation I have with that is, does Longley have that mentality? Ben Davies has that mentality. Longley's ability in the ball puts Ben Davies to shame, but Ben Davies is a pit bull in the ring. Who knows what Longley is capable of? Because in his time at Barcelona, he was, basically. It wasn't their version of Ndombele, but he would sulk around. He would, he seemed like the type of character to not necessarily take criticism in the best way, especially from the fans. And now our fans are much more loving and endearing to our beautiful players than those whatever things happen in Spain with Barcelona. But I think that if he does, fantastic. If he's breathing down his Ben Davies' neck the whole season and Ben Davies puts a performance in that lands him in the team of the season, great. Who cares? Either way, I think the situation is a win-win. We might get a gem, diamond in the rough, or we might get somebody who's going to make sure that Ben Davies knows he cannot put his foot off that pedal. I mean, I wouldn't start him unless Ben Davies starts to falter. Even if, in training, whatnot, I think you got to stick with the guy who is a massive reason why we're in this position in the first place.
Let me ask you this, Brandon, then when it comes to them two. Do you see maybe Longley mainly being used for Champions League? Because he's obviously got that. Listen, Ben Davies, we saw under Mourinho when he played like 9 or 10 games, he looked dead on his feet. But under Conte, we can all see the development in him and he's changed. Can he do it in the big league? Because he can't play every single game. He physically can't. And I don't think he'll be allowed to with the way we're rotating. But I think Longley is going to turn a few heads. But I'm with you. I think Ben Davies is undroppable at the moment.
And I think, and I have a thinking suspicion Conte might do this. I think Longley is the type of player you can bring in, and you usually don't bring in a center back when you're down, right? But we got 5 substitutions now.
Yep.
Think about it. We're down by a goal, 25 minutes to go. You bring on Longley. He's gonna create something from the back in a way that Ben Davies is not. I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think if that's his role, amazing. Who else can say they have an attacking center back coming on at the end of a game? That could be a revelation. It could be. I think tomorrow the only change I'm seeing from the previous game. This is a wild card. Lucas at right wing back. Yeah. Well, why not? You know, I mean, just your full
Because
throttle.
it's Chelsea.
Go for the
I
jugular.
love you, Brandon. I love you.
Go for the jugular right from the first whistle. Get Lucas go. You know, I mean, like, why not? Why not? And we take a 2-3-0 lead and then bring Emerson on to hold down the fort. Not saying that Lucas should start right wing back every game, but every once in a while, when you've got a lethargic, sluggish looking team like Chelsea are at the current, moment. I mean, why not? Why not? Why not?
Mate, do you know what? Excuse me. I actually see if there is a change, it might be Basuma for Højbjerg. I really think it might be just because, and the only reason I say that, and Højbjerg is my favourite player. When you look at it, I just think last season we were just bullied in midfield, absolutely railroaded, and I think they might just say, right, we need you in there, Basuma, just to do what you did with Harry Kane when they Brighton beat us. I could just see Basuma starting. He's the one that I think may be the one change.
Why in for Højbjerg instead of Bentancur if that was our issue? Our issue was we didn't have enough steel in midfield. Pack up the guns, get two large pectoral muscles in the midfield, Why not?
Yeah, the only reason I say that is obviously we know that Bentancur weren't even there for the Chelsea games last season. So Højbjerg was. I mean, like you said, I love Højbjerg, what he does for the team. I just see Basuma coming in, and for me, I think the one he would choose is Højbjerg. Bobby, what do you think?
You know what? At the end of the day, we all want to see Basuma come onto the field, but there is something. Sorry, I just want to quickly bring up to whoever is doing the mods. You just accidentally block United Spurs of America as well.
Shit.
When you were
Brian.
up the,
Yeah, I think you blocked it, Brian.
so I don't think you
Okay,
want
1 second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Danny, you put that there. Yeah. Okay. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I know. Jacob was just sorry. I was just responding.
But if you unblock
You have to go into the YouTube and into the studio to unplug my finger.
no, I can unblock him from the mods.
From
I'm not
one side there.
You don't want to visit XYZ.
I was trying to, but these guys delete the stuff before I click on the link, and then as soon as I'm clicking on that stuff, they turn around and ask me a question about what I wasn't paying attention to because I'm trying to click on the link. It's terrible.
Where is it? I'm sorry, Jacob. 1 second.
Bad host.
Sorry, do you think, man? Do you think?
No, go on, carry on.
Brian, I want to ask you.
Right,
Go on.
Brandon, it's your time. You want to ask something? Go ahead.
What do you think happens if someone in the attack starts to falter? Does Richarlison get that shot? Say you have a 2-3 game stretch where Kulu or even Son isn't doing it. Son, he was working hard, but was a little off in the first game, right? And I think that's a fluke. He's going to come back fighting. But what happens if you're saying 2-3 weeks time from now, Son's still not getting on the score sheet? He's missing chances he should be putting away. Do you put Richarlison in for a game?
Yes.
Just to kick his tail?
Yes, 100%. No question about it. Because we've discussed a little bit about this already. Like Danny already touched on, the reason why Chelsea has been the most successful club in the EPL over the last 20 years is because of their ruthlessness. The fact that they don't give a shit. There's no sentiment attached to managers. There's no sentiment attached to players. So the fact that we all love Sonny, that's wonderful. Like I was just waxing lyrical about him. He's the sunshine of the squad. I absolutely love him as a person before I love him as a player. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting your job done, and we have somebody who could do your job, then that person comes and does your job. And that's what needs to be happening with this club right now. No more of this sentiment bullshit. Players like Winks and everything that are not at the level. We appreciate what they've done for the club. We appreciate the fact that they've been loyal. But that is not enough anymore. You just showing loyalty is not enough. It's like having a guard dog. You just standing there and barking at people. But when I need to be protected, if you don't go and snap that guy's arm off for me, you are no good to me. And we need to finally get to that point. And I think with Conte, he's showing that. Look at the players that he put on that Exodus list. When you look at the 4 that were ostracized from training, he is telling people right now, I don't give a shit who you are. I don't give a crap what you're getting paid. I don't give a shit what the fans think of you. If you're not getting the job done, fuck off. Go somewhere else. Do something somewhere else. Go open a McDonald's with Ndombele or whatever Winksy. I don't care. But they've got to go. And I honestly believe that we should have that mentality. Because if we've got to decide, going back to the Amazon documentary now with Jose, we as fans got to decide if we want to be a bunch of cunts. because we need to be greedy. We need to say, fucking right, get him off the field. We can't say, well, but he's an academy player and he's been loyal to Tottenham for 6 years or this. And, well, I really like him and he signs autographs. Doesn't matter. You're not getting your job done on the pitch. Shelf you over because we got somebody that can take your slot. We've got everybody. Everybody has competition in the squad now, except for the center back position. So if we can address that in the next 2 weeks, I think we're going to start the season in a very good position. Does it make the transfer window a 10 out of 10? No, it doesn't. We still know it's going to take 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 transfer windows before we finally get the full package together. But we are definitely taking the right steps. And yes, 100%, Richarlison comes in. If anybody in that top 3 is not performing, there is no reason for him not to come in.
Correct.
If one of those personas non grata this for some reason isn't shipped on by the end of the window, do you banish them for
They're already banished, Brendan.
months?
They're already banished,
I'm
though.
saying, like, is there a way, like, if for some reason Regulon, which is looking harder than we thought, and Winks to go, what do you do with them? Do you
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
banished.
These two up there will know better. Is Winks not already training with the under-21s now? Or the
I can tell
under-23s?
you, I can tell you, Winks is training with the under-23s. I mean,
Yeah,
it
he
broke,
is.
it broke,
There you
it
go.
broke last week or a couple of days ago that they've all been banished, Regulon as well. But Winks has been training with the under-23 since pre-season.
I think there's no way back for them, no matter what. I think he will ostracize them. Them players are not gonna play or be part of that squad. They're gonna stay
game
as
managing.
far away as possible from what Conte wants to build in that dressing room, because you have players that he doesn't want. As soon as you bring those players into the dressing room, the attitude starts to reap through the other players, and you get this. You get, it's like bad energy, right? It's like you'll feel the bad energy from those players, like Regulon, who he knows the manager doesn't want him. He knows the manager doesn't want him. So if you're gonna try, it's like you're trying to be fake to kind of just save face, sort of thing. And I just can't see Conte being the ruthless person he is. I can't see him bringing those players back into it.
No.
And
Sorry, that super chat was amazing, Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
I
I think John Carter has won comment of the evening. That is just brilliant. But Brandon, it's always
brilliant.
great speaking with you, brother. We'll speak to you again soon. What's your prediction for Sunday's game?
Going 4-1 Spursy.
All right, delusion is here.
And you know what? And here we go. if Mr. Rodrigo Bentancur doesn't at least take a single shot on goal, I'll take a shot of gin. I hate gin.
There you go. There you go.
Right. Before you go, Brandon, who's your scorers then for 4-1? Who's your scorers?
Who are my scores?
4 for Bentancur.
Could you imagine?
I'm saying we get a cheeky Lucas on the score sheet. We get one from Kane, one from Dejan, and then we get another one from Cess. Keep up the hot streak. He looked like a demon. A demon. How
There
rich.
we
I like
go.
that. I like that.
Nice
I
one.
like
Good
that.
call.
Brandon,
Brandon.
it
Nice
is
one.
always a
Wicked.
pleasure, brother. Have a wicked weekend, my man.
Great energy, brother.
Enjoy the
Great
game,
energy,
Brandon, man.
See you
Come
later,
on, you
Brandon,
Spurs.
brother.
Come on, you Spurs. That's it.
So
Nice
we've
one,
got 2
Brandon.
more callers, and there
We're
is some
gonna-
that want to go last. But
Yeah, we're gonna bring him in. We're gonna
we're
bring
bringing
him
in
in.
next because he's getting tired.
He's
and
getting tired. Is he
he's known for doing this, so we're going to bring on
Yeah.
Nick Barry.
He's already
Shaw, Phil
sleeping.
Clark. They are going to put on a show for you. How are we doing, Nick, brother?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm about as sleepy as Bobby K looks. He's like sat there, just like.
Yeah, but at least I've kept them somewhat open. At least I can stay
Yeah.
at 10% open. So, and I've kept myself in the conversation. So, I haven't done the full berry yet, like the full Monty. I'm just doing the partial berry here.
So,
Yeah.
Barry, what do you want to talk about, brother?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. Look, I think there seems to be a change in the media, from Roy Keane to Graham Souness to Talk Sport, that they're all worried about us,
True.
and yeah, I see all the other fans, Man U fans, getting rattled because they're in the mud, and then they start talking about, oh, Ronaldo, oh, our history, oh, everything else. Well, Let's look at the here and now. All the Arsenal fans, oh, when was the last time you won a trophy? Well,
I'm
come
loving
on.
the voice, Nick.
Let's deal in the here and now, right? The here and now is simple. We're top of the league, and that is all we need to worry about. We just need one game down, 37 to go. I said before the transfer window on Bob's show that we were winning the league, and I'm not going to move away from that. I don't care. We're going full on delusional. Right,
Mate, this is the right show for it, apparently, tonight. I have to say. You know what? You know what? You raised a really good point, Nick, because I've said this as well with Arsenal. When I get into banter with Arsenal fans, oh, you've won no trophies. Oh, what have you done? What have you done?
What they say.
And I'm like, well, let's talk about now. Oh, yeah, but you've won no trophies. I'm like, well, no,
That's all they fucking
now.
say. They got so
And then
they're
you've
so
got to be-
delusional.
No, but that's
it's
what
ridiculous.
United fans do as well. Like, but there are so many fans that now all of a sudden, now that they're not doing so well, they want to talk about history. Whereas when we wanted to talk about history, yeah, but what are you doing now? But you're right. There's a shift in the radio.
Literally.
Graham Souness is doing that, mate. There is a definite shift in the media.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Barry? Why do you think that is? Why do you actually think there is a shift in the media? What is it that's made all these pundits, all the media outlets, kind of have a worry or fear or giving us more praise than they have done over the years since maybe when we had Poch, when they were all like licking our asses, basically?
Because I think, especially after last week as well, right? We went 1-0 down, and look, I don't think any of us were worried, and I think in the past, that
yeah, the picture is overlapping the wall.
There's a reason for that. The reason it's overlapping is so I can get it in the top corner of my screen.
Yeah, John.
There you go, John Carter.
Yeah,
It was
John.
excellent. Then it was excellent.
Bloody hell, John.
handiwork skills.
Jeez, John, come on.
Jesus,
you should know
John.
better. Come on.
But yeah, sorry, Nick, you were saying.
John, how many
Look,
likes are we at?
I just think from the run that we went on at the end of last season, how we've started, and you can sit there and say it was an average Southampton side or a poor Southampton side. We still need to go and get the goals. We still need to go and do the business, right? But I think listening to Simon Jordan this morning, he's convinced that we are battering Chelsea tomorrow. If Chelsea turn up,
What did he say?
he said if Chelsea turn up like they did against Everton, Tottenham will batter
We'll take
them on
them, yeah.
Sunday.
And
And I was literally, I was in the car. I
Wow.
was in the car, and I was like,
Did he just say that? Yeah.
Did he just say that? And
Of
then
all
there was,
people, Simon Jordan say that.
yeah, and for for Souness, for Roy Keane, for them to come out, for those two as well, that have been really critical of, this is Tottenham, it's only Tottenham, they're Spursy, they're bottlers, and everything else. To then come out with, they've set a benchmark, and look, Sunday is Sunday is a test, right? And that's where we're going to see where we are. And I think we would have all loved to have faced Chelsea again towards the back end of last season to see how we would have got to where we've got to. But yeah, Sunday's going to be a test. I don't think it's going to be easy. Look, one win in 37 years or whatever it is, ridiculous. Chelsea are always going to be bang up for it. And I think it'll be a smash and grab. We'll go and do what we probably should have done against Liverpool last season and get that win. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be pretty. If it is, even better. But look, 3 points is all that matters. Because I've got yeah, I am awake out and I'm surprised as well. But yeah. Yeah, I just think that there's some twists and turns. I wouldn't put it past Bournemouth getting something at City, and Brentford are going to get at least the draw against United. So yeah, it's going to open it up again, and then Liverpool Palace on Monday, and they obviously it's at Anfield, so I think Liverpool will just get over the line. But yeah, this is the time, right? We don't have 2 games a week until October, so these first 5 games are critical. If we come out of August with 15 points, then all those people what they're going to say then? Oh, those 5 teams played crap. I actually think probably our hardest game our hardest 2 games are going to be Forest and West Ham. Because Forest, although they looked ropey last week, they're going to be bang up for it. We're not going to know how. We haven't played them in a long time, and obviously West Ham away is always a tough game. So I actually think those 2 games are more kind of banana skins than I would. But look, I fully believe that we can get. I said 11 out of 15 points. We go and beat Chelsea on Sunday. I'm saying 15 out of 15.
That's a bold statement. You really see it.
Very bold.
Look, Danny, we were there on Saturday. The atmosphere in the stadium was different. It was so different. There wasn't the moans and groans.
That's true.
There wasn't we went 1-0 down and all of a sudden, oh, here we go. This is, all this excitement on a nice hot sunny day. Everyone's got there early. Everyone's, had food or had drinks or done whatever they've done before they've gone into the stadium. But yeah, it was just a different vibe. And I think the positivity is, of us is just kind of enthusing on the players and everyone else. Yes, we need to be realistic. We need to keep our feet on the ground, but why not believe? Why not believe we can go and win the league? Why not believe we can go and win a trophy, an FA Cup or a Champions League? Because actually the amount of crap that we've had to deal with and the amount of banter from all the other fans and everything else, they're worried, and this is why they talk about history. The other fans are really worried about us because it'll be, oh, poor old Tottenham. It'll be, it won't be, oh, Tottenham played well. It'll be, oh, everyone else didn't play as well as, and that's what Tottenham did. It was even worse. It was even worse than the season that Leicester City won the league or what have you. Do you know what I mean? So, let's look. I'm looking forward to Sunday, but I do think it'll be an almost smash and grab on Sunday. Chelsea are gonna come good. They've made some decent signings. We can't look past that. If we're talking about who's won the transfer window, there's no one else in my mind than Chelsea with who they've signed. Yeah. And if they get Frankie De Jong and or Aubameyang as well, then if you're talking about that, it's just ridiculous. But look, we've done our business. Conte seems happy. I actually think that Emerson Royale will surprise a lot of people this season. I think he will be our regular right wing back. I don't from as much as we've got the bar where he should be, and he's kind of down there, and he had a good game. The same with Cess. I would not be surprised because there's something that Conte, with both of them on the right and the left, Conte loves. Danny's...
Over to you, Danny.
So, Barry, let me tell you about Emerson Royale. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that tonight.
I've just got this. I've just got this feeling he can, apart from his crossing, he can do everything else. His aerial clearances. I was listening to someone else speak about it. He's great in the air. He gets into those positions. I think Doherty's coming back from that injury. I think it's not a simple injury that you just come back with. And I think if he can just improve his crossing and put a run of games together, his confidence will come back. And look, you never know. That would be like a new signing. And look, we're all quick to judge all these players, right? We're quick to say he was that and they were this and blah blah blah. But we're not quick enough to turn around and say, look, they had a good game. Look, one game does not make him, world class, the best right wing back that we've got. But look, let's give credit where credit's due. Both wing backs played well, and Scott M. you were saying we were winning the quad earlier, and I clipped it. So
Oh, did he?
Scott woke up on the positive side of the bed today.
Don't start on this negative narrative, mate, because earlier we were winning the quad.
Yeah,
So,
Scott. I thought Kuva had taken Scott's phone or something.
Exactly.
I got to bring Barry's delusion bit down here because
Okay, go on, Danny.
Look,
Go on.
I'll tell you why. Yeah, because there's
Okay.
no way we're winning a league when you've got Chelsea who are just going to buy the players that you've just talked about, and you said they're going to have the best window out of everyone in Europe, right? As well as to add to the team that they've got. You've got to remember, this is a team that 18 months ago, they won the Champions League, man. They won the Champions League. They've lost a few players, but the strength that they've brought in, if they go and finish the deal off with De Jong and Aubameyang, it's ridiculous what they've done. And I still think that won't be the end of it either for them. I think they're going to sign 3 or 4 players. The other thing as well is you've got to look at the teams that have been winning the league the last couple of years. Obviously, Man City, Liverpool, the main ones. Now, with their defense, right, I just think we're still, in terms of quality, look, Dyer and Davis have been good. Emerson is for me, he shouldn't be a Premier League footballer, in my opinion. I think Emerson he's done his job. That is it. He hasn't lit up the world. He hasn't showed us, he hasn't done a performance where everyone's like, oh my God, this guy could be a really good player. Not once have I seen a performance from Emerson that's made me think, wow, this guy he's got something. He's good at defending. He's good at defensive, his aerial defensive ability, right? In terms of jumping, defending set pieces and stuff. He's probably our best defender in the air defensively, right? Offensively, he's shocking. He doesn't know how to hit the target to save his life, right? Now he's got skills. He can pass a ball. He's got stamina. He can run up and down that pitch. But at the end of the day, you're all going to see. Everyone's going to see what Emerson's like. He cannot cross a ball to save his life. And when you've got someone like Perisic on the other side, right? There's no comparison. You have to have someone of that quality or someone that's close to that. And Emerson's the other end of the spectrum in terms of the quality aspect and of what he can deliver. Now, I think out of the 3 players, now we don't know how good Spence can be, so we've got no idea. My opinion is, I think Spence will get his chances in some of the smaller games, or when he needs to rotate. I think he'll get a chance in the cup games and stuff like that. And I think that's where Spence is going to have to use those games to say, look, I'm here. I want to be in that first team in the Premier League, right? And I think there's going to be the same for quite a few players. And I think defensively, Emerson is probably the best out of the 3 right now. But I think it'd be certain games where Emerson will be used, because against the Liverpools and against the Cities and against the Chelseas, he probably will do a better job defensively. But I'm not saying he's great defensively, because he was part of the reason why we conceded the first goal against Southampton. He went to ground way too early, right? And he does that a lot. He doesn't stay with his man. He goes to ground way too early. Now Doherty, I think if he gets his fitness up and he gets to the level where he was before he got injured last season, I think he will take over as the right wing back, purely because in an offensive area, he's much better than Doherty, much better than Emerson. Sorry, I think he can score goals. He's a much better goal threat at the back post. You saw it. He had what was it? 4 assists and 2 goals in those 5 games that he played, right? And that was showing the stuff. That is exactly what Conte wants from a wing back. Now, I think long term, I think Spence potentially could overtake both of them. It depends whether that's going to be this season or not. It's up to him. If he's got the confidence in himself and in his ability, I think he'll overtake both of them. So we have to wait and see what happens. But for me, I think for Chelsea, I think it's got to be Emerson, because he's the one who's ready. He had a pretty decent game against Southampton. But yeah, look, that team for me right now is not good enough to win a title. It's just not. You have to remember, right? When we had prime Poch years where we were challenging for the title, our back line was Jan Vertonghen, one of the greatest Spurs defenders we've ever seen, right? especially in the Premier League, as Brian would say as well. And we also had a Toby Alderweireld, who's one of the most composed, positionally aware defenders we've seen as well in the Premier League. Now, when you compare it to Romero is at level. If not, he could go high. He's got a higher ceiling. But Dyer and Davis are nowhere near that level. Now, if you want to have,
look, I know they're not, but I think what we need to remember is, again, we've got this season where it's going to be it's up to game week 16. So whatever happens up to game week 16, then we stop and then we go again. So this season is going to throw all sorts. I think.
Well, this is the thing, Barry, as well. That's the thing. Like, we've got World Cup, so we could get injuries and stuff in that. Every team can get injuries. So that's it. Could be you might get lucky. We might not get any injuries, and then Chelsea and Man City might have some big injuries, and they might not go into the market for players, but for whatever reason. So there's always a chance. But I just think in order for us to compete and for to challenge, I think we still need those two players to change the formation and tactics during the game. So that centre back, the central centre back, and a creative midfielder like a Zaniolo or someone like that. Yeah. And I think we need to make sure we steer clear of the big injuries to our big players. And if we can do that, then I think there's a chance.
And Nick, on that note, because the alarm went and we got 2 more guests to get on.
How dare you? I don't work under these circumstances with alarms.
Well, do you know what?
The alarm was to wake you up.
Before I want to hear, is there anything else, Barry, you wanted to add? Because I know I kind of interrupted you, mate.
No, Danny, it's fine. You interrupted me. It's not a problem. It's you, so it's fine. If it was anyone else,
yeah, if
it held to pay. Holy shit!
Especially that one.
But Nick, very quickly, mate, score prediction and pick your channel up, and where can people find you?
So I think it's going to be it's just going to be a 1-0 win. I think it's going to be Kane, and you can find me next on Sunday on Shelfside on tour, on Tottenham on tour,
right.
or normally with Rez, my partner in crime, when we're doing the watch-alongs, on Shelfside Spurs show on Thursday evening. So yeah, hit us up, and yeah, it's great to. Well, I guess for everyone's wondering what I'm doing awake at this hour.
Yeah.
Adam said the same thing. This is the most awake I've ever seen around you. So yeah, big up for this show, and yeah, I'll see you. Actually, we're on the pump up tomorrow, so I'll be back on the pump up on Sunday. Well, no, it is tomorrow because we're now in Saturday. So yeah, see you
you're
then.
on the pump up on Saturday, Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah.
Oh, wicked! I'll see you on the pump up, brother.
Cheers, guys.
Big
up to everyone in the chat, even you, Scott.
Big up, Barry.
See you later.
Good to see Nick. Take care, buddy.
So we've got 2 more
Have a good
people
night,
to
bro.
get through. And we'll bring on the first one. I think he's making his debut on We Are Tottenham TV. He's from Denver, Colorado. He's got his own channel, which he'll speak about at the end. But let's bring on Leo. Leo, brother, how you doing?
Big up, Leo.
What's going on, you guys? How's everybody doing?
Good,
I'm
Leo.
loving the studio. I'm loving the room you're in, brother. Big up.
Wicked.
Big up the decor. How you doing?
Thank you.
Your 10 minutes start now, brother. What do you want to talk about, my man?
Actually, can you give him 30 seconds more, Brian? Because that's the kit that he's wearing right now, is the pub kits that I was telling you about that Leo had made.
Yeah,
Remember, I was telling you? So that's the pub name, and they got the Spurs logo and everything on there.
It's actually,
man.
It's actually the Colorado Spurs logo. So it's got like the little C for the Colorado C, and then it's got the ball still, so it's still the Tottenham logo, but they did their own little twist on there, and put the C. So I mean, if I could talk about whatever, then I mean I'll collaborate a little bit about that. So Parker is the other half of Mile High Hotspur, and we're the ones that actually designed this jersey for the Colorado Spurs, which is of course right here the. You know, you guys see the scarf there for Colorado Spurs. I'm a huge supporter of the Colorado Spurs. I'm a diehard Tottenham Hotspur fan. I'm a big fan of WeAreTottenhamTV, of all your guys' work. So I appreciate the time to be on here and be able to rap with you guys. You know, I really love it. So yeah. First of all, I just wanted to ask Dago, how's the tattoo, man? Is it healing?
I'll show you, mate. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can get this. There you go. There's my second. Oh wait a minute, fucking camera. There's my floor tattoo for
clean, man. Looks clean.
So
yeah,
mate, you know what? I really would want to get sleeves, but I've got my grandparents' memorials there, and I'm never getting anything tattooed around them. So yeah, I mean, Leo has gone south. So yeah, the tattoo is all healed up now. It's been good 2 weeks. And when I mean 2 weeks, I do mean 2 weeks. So yeah. So what do you want to talk about, Leo? Apart from tattoos, what Spurs stuff do you want to talk about, brother?
Well, I mean, if ever there was a time to play Chelsea, this is the weekend to do it. I know I might get some slack, but I'm thinking we're gonna beat them, and I think we're gonna beat them convincingly. There's a song by Nas that's called "The Bridge Is Over," and I'm saying that this is the theme song for this week. The bridge is over. We're going in there with no fear whatsoever. We're gonna put it to them. I have no doubt about that. Our team is looking really strong. We're looking on form. I think Harry Kane is gonna get a couple of goals this game. I definitely think he's gonna start scoring goals this August a lot earlier than he's normally accustomed to. The only thing is not just with this Chelsea game. I think with our games for the rest of our season, we're gonna have to be punching. We're gonna have to be punching them a lot harder than they're punching us, because let's face it, you guys, if we don't get somebody to help shore up that back line, they're gonna score goals on us. So we're gonna need to be scoring more goals than them, which I have confidence in our boys to do that. I have a lot of confidence in our boys to go out there and say, we're putting 4 up against Liverpool. We're putting 4 on Man City. We're putting 4 on Man United. We're putting 4 against the scum. So we just have to be able to keep them from scoring 4 on us. But apart from that, like I said, if ever there was a week to go to Stamford Bridge and get a W, it's this week. I think Chelsea barely got away with beating Everton. If it wasn't for a penalty, they would have drawn that game. But besides that, I think that in the transfer window, they are definitely probably above us with their signings. I mean, even at that, we'd probably go blow for blow with them on that. But Chelsea for sure is not where they haven't reached their ceiling. They're far from reaching their ceiling for this season. So I think if we're gonna play them in 2 to 3 months time, it's gonna be a lot harder game. So I much rather prefer to have that second leg game at White Hart Lane instead of at Stamford Bridge. So when we're both up there swinging at our maximum level, we have a better chance of beating them at home too. And also, this whole season, the whole off season, has been for me a big W. I'm very happy with our signings. Alistair Gold came out with his comments about Antonio's presser, saying how he understands the situation. He knows that this is not the politics of the club to just go out there and break the bank. Like, I mean, let's face it, guys. Like how we've been doing, we've been signing a bunch of people. Whether or not that's over or not, I kind of get the feeling that we're probably not going to sign anybody for the rest of the offseason. Which, like I was telling my buddy Parker the other day. Man, because he wanted to see another signing or two, and I told him, hey, man, if we don't sign another player, we're miles ahead of the team we were last season, and it's thanks to the signings that we have made so far. So I can't complain about the signings that we've made. And also that, I mean, we haven't made a bad signing. We haven't made a rushed signing. We haven't made a panic buy signing yet, and I'm hoping that that's the thing of the past. One thing that I do like about...
Do you really think in your honest opinion, you think that the spending has stopped for us? No more players in. You reckon do you see it being done?
There's 2 ways I can answer your question, Daigle. I can answer your question with my heart, and I can answer your question with, I guess, my past experience as a Spurs fan. My heart says we're probably gonna get another player, but honestly, at this point, who are we gonna bring in? We're not gonna. I mean, I don't want to say we're not 100%, but are we gonna bring in a Milan Skriniar? Are we gonna bring in? We're not gonna bring in a Bastoni. Are we gonna bring in a Pau Torres? Are we gonna bring in a Zaniolo when it looks like he's going to Chelsea? So I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're going to. My heart tells me, yeah, let's go buy another 2 more players. We got the money to do it. We all know we have the money to do it. But I think we're done, Daigle. I think we're done spending. Honestly.
Okay.
Do you know what, Leo? I actually been thinking that as well lately. I actually see the way. I think what's going to happen is that they won't sign anyone else unless there's an opportunity. And I think as it stands, the key thing is getting those players out the door. Once they do that, once they get the Winks, it looks like Ndombele and Lo Celso are pretty much done now. So they've just got Reguilon and Winks to get out. If they manage to get them out, I think in the last 2 weeks, maybe a week, they will try and maybe do something with maybe from what I hear, the central centre back is what they want to improve on. But I think they want a young player to compete with Dyer, because Dyer's 27, 28 now. And obviously Conte likes him because he's got certain characteristics why he likes him. He's not like an elite defender like a Skriniar, but he does a job. And with Romero, he's good. And I think what they want is they want someone to compete with him who's a younger player, because it seems the theme is what they're doing is they want young and old for each position. So they've got experienced young. So they've got 2 players in each position, but one's old, one's younger. And I think you can see that in the wing back situation. You can see that in a lot of players, a lot of places around the pitch. Our midfield sort of average age has gone right down now. I think it's like 24, 25 now. So it's looking good in terms of the age sort of average age of the squad. But I do see what you see, and I think that unless there's like an opportunity is too good to refuse, or they manage to do something with Zaniolo, because I think that's who they want. I don't think he's going to go Chelsea, because I honestly think De Jong's going Chelsea. I think that's a done deal. I think it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Barcelona need the money to register those players, and I think that he is willing to go. From the reports I've seen in the Netherlands as well, I see a lot from there. It looks like it's very, very possible that he's going to go there. I just think that unless we get I've seen reports that there's potential maybe Max Kilman, or there's another player I've seen that they're looking at. They're going to see if they can do a deal for him. That would be an expensive player, but he's young. I like Kilman a lot. I think he'd be good competition if they're not going to, because we know they're not going to go and get a Skriniar. They're not going to go and do that. So if they're going to get someone, they've got to get someone who's a good young prospect who can improve, because I think where they'll spend the big money on a centre-back is the left centre-back next season for a Gavardio or a Bastoni, and I think they will get one of them next season. And I just can't see us signing anyone else unless it's Zaniolo.
Yeah.
And if it's not him, I don't think they want to bring anyone else in my opinion. I think they want him that badly. They don't want anyone else.
That could be the thing. I think what it's coming down to as well, like you said, Dan, you mentioned the word opportunity. And I think that's what we got to look at is all the other times when we got Reguilon, we said we weren't going for a left back. We weren't going for a left back unless he became available. He became available. Yeah. We acted. And I think like Leo said, we spent so big in the summer that we've actually given ourselves the benefit of time. We can now just say, do you know what? A lot of our work is done. If a player becomes available that sparks our interest, then then we're going to make a move. Normally at this time of the year, we're running around going like, oh my God, what we doing? Who are we going to buy? And we've got rid of that. We've got rid of that element. There's 7 players. If you count Destiny, there's 7 players. Obviously, he's going back. We've allowed ourselves. If Skriniar is, let's just say Skriniar is available right now, but it could take 2-3 weeks. We've got 2-3 weeks. We've got 6-7 players. If this deal is going to take that amount of time, it's not like last time we went for him and then we had a panic by Joe Rodon. It's like, right, the nucleus is there. We'll wait and see if the right guy comes up, and then we'll go for it. But yeah, Leo, we got 38 seconds left. So score prediction, goal scorers, and where people can find you.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going 4-2. I'm going to go with the brace from Harry Kane. I think Kulu's going to kind of keep going with another goal. And then I'm going to say Sonny. I know it's cliche, and I know it's it's the easy way out to do the prediction, but I'm going to go 4-2. 2 from Kane, 1 from Sonny, 1 from Kulu. I fancy Kulu with maybe 2 or 3 assists. The 2 goals from Chelsea, it doesn't matter because I mean it's going in the back of our sack. Yeah, so you guys can find me whenever you guys want. Everybody is more than welcome. Just go over to the Mile High Hotspur on YouTube. We are we're official representatives of THFC Till I Die. We're their channel over here in the United States. So wherever they're at, we're at, and wherever we're at, they're at. So Yeah. Also, big up to you guys, man. Like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and just speak Spurs with you guys. I noticed that it was a members thing, and I'm like, hold on, I'm a member. I'm gonna hop on and see if I could
There you
if
go.
I can squeeze on. So I'm liking this. I'm liking this late Spurs show too, man. I'm gonna tune in next week.
Good.
Yeah,
That's what it's all
definitely,
about, mate. It's what it's all about. We're Tottenham on tour are here to make sure We Are Tottenham TV get a show out in the evening, and also get the fans that can't come on in the morning that can come on. So it was great
Yeah.
getting you on,
Yeah,
Leo,
it
and we'll
was.
see you next week.
Yeah,
For sure, you guys. I appreciate you
Yeah,
great
guys.
call,
Good to
Leo,
see
man.
you,
Nice
Leo,
to meet
man.
you, man.
Okay, see you later, man. Right, we
Later,
got
you
Buddy,
guys.
have a great
Be
night,
easy.
Leo. Always good to see you, buddy.
we got 2 more callers, and we're gonna stay at that too because it's getting late now. But I say it's getting late for Danny. It's 3:21 in the morning. So big up, Danny. And the next person coming on is a guy that I know. He's smiling right now because he knows I'm going to mention a player's name, and he knows this man is going to come on. Do you know what? This guy, and I mention it a lot when I get to see him. I'm probably Alfie Devine's biggest fan. I'm now going to bring on, without a shadow of a doubt, Ben Davis's biggest fan.
Yes,
It's
sir.
Arian. What's up, brother?
Yeah, Arian.
Hang up, Arian. How are you, brother?
How you guys doing? All right, this late show is actually a brilliant idea, by the way. Thank you guys for hosting. This is excellent. So I have to wake up at like 7 in the morning for the pre-match shows
Aaron,
before.
do you
But
know what? You were one of the
Do
first
you know-
people when I spoke to Ben and Simeon.
Yeah.
When I was saying, listen, there's so many people. You were the first name I mentioned. I said, look at Arian when we've been on. He's been on like 7 or whatever.
Honestly, Arian, he literally said it. He literally because
you
he
were
was
the
saying
first name.
when the idea was getting discussed, he was literally one of the first names he said was your name because he knows that it's hard for a lot of people, but you're the first one that popped into his head.
wow, that is an honor to be mentioned in that conversation.
There you go. You got your 10 minutes, brother. What do you want to talk about?
Look, I want to say first and foremost that regardless of what happens tomorrow, because I think I'll say this, I think we are a much better team than Chelsea. I'm gonna come here and say I think we're a much better team. I think regardless of the result tomorrow, we are the better team. The thing is, Stamford Bridge has not been kind to us in the past like 3 decades, right? We won like twice in the Premier League there in the past 3 decades, or some ridiculous
Once in the
stat.
Premier League, and it was the first division where we beat them before. That's
right.
how long it is.
So like, it's a ridiculous record, right? So even if we go there tomorrow and we draw 1-1 or we lose 2-0, whatever happens, right? Because I think we need to cover our bases here. We can go out there and say, oh, we're gonna win 4-2, we're gonna win 5-0, we're gonna win 3-0, whatever. But we need to also be prepared for because it's football, things happen. I think regardless of what happens, this season is going to be an absolutely fantastic season. You see what we've done in the transfer window compared to what they've done, and they've made some good moves, but I'll get to that in a second. You see the way we're building with Conte. How many times have you seen Conte recommend a signing for a loan to go back next season? Antonio Conte has this like reputation that he comes in here, gets 4 or 5 veteran signings, leaves after 2 years after he wins a trophy. Right now, he recommended a 20-year-old that he's not even going to play for at least 1 year. He's going to come in next year. Maybe even then he's going to have to fight for his spot for the next 1 or 2 years. It's a whole project, and you can see he's building that, and it's something to get very excited about under this current regime. And I think we are headed we're headed for way better things than Chelsea are at the moment right now.
There you go. So let's hear it because obviously Longlay's coming. We're gonna have to speak. Do you know what? I need to have this conversation with you because you know what, mate. I have to do that. I speak to you about it every time you come on because you are the one again that always with always. And mate, you must be a happy man right now.
Look, this remontada for Davies has been the most incredible performance. This Davies renaissance has got to be the highlight of my life, bro. 2 years, 3 years I came on this channel. Well, I wasn't on the channel for 3 years, but like in general, for 2 years I was basically the one defending him with my life. And I kept getting shit. Oh, Aurier's better when he was a left back or on the right hand side, and all this stuff about he can't defend, he can't cross, he can't pass, he can't do this, he can't do that. And I don't even care if they were right at the time. It has come good, man. This guy has been incredible for us at that left hand side, and you can see just Conte loves it. He got a new contract. That was just like another kind of high for me that when that got announced. So, I mean, yeah, and with Longley coming in, I think giving Davis the competition he deserves is only going to benefit him and the team, because at the end of the day, this is Tottenham Hotspur FC. It's not Ben Davis FC. So if we want to do better as a team, Longley's going to have to come in for a couple of games. I think Longley can even do a job in the center from time to time. So it's not like exactly he's going to be toppling Davis every time he has to play. So I think it's a great thing to have both of them in. And I think Longley's been quite impressive every time he's played for us. I think it was a very overhated signing when we got him. I actually was like, all right, this is a pretty decent signing for like a $6 million loan fee. So I mean, it's fair enough. I think Longley coming in has been a massive positive, even if it could affect a little bit of Davis's playtime. I think as a general, it's been a good thing for the club. Yeah.
There you go. What's your thoughts on Tanguy and Gio finally being out the door?
I mean, that is finally, right? I mean, I'm quite happy that it happened. And I think the thing about like the no option to buy and Lo Celso's deal, I think that's actually a masterclass. I think people are saying, oh, there's no option. We're gonna have to hold on to him next year. I don't think so at all. I think he's always good for Argentina, right? And the World Cup tax is insane. Like even the Euros tax in the world, like players can have one good tournament, their price goes up by 15 million. Yeah. Right? So we sell Giovanni Lo Celso for 15 million this summer, or we take a risk. Right, he does really well in the World Cup. Argentina gets to the quarters or the semis or whatever they do, and now he's a 25 million, 30 million player. And now instead of Villarreal coming in for him, you have Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, because they were interested in him this season. They weren't this, and now you have these other teams that are much better that can pay the bigger fees. And now we might even break even with Gio after all the nonsense we went through with him. You know what I mean? So I think both deals are great. And then Ndombele for 16 million, the guy can't even run 10 meters. So I mean, 16 million, go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah. So, what's your also thoughts on Jermaine Defoe coming back home as a coach?
Having these players like Yaya Toure and Jermaine Defoe around the youngsters, I think giving that kind of experience around them, people who've been at the very top, it's only going to benefit them. The young players, if they have these people that they've looked up to, now tell them how they can be these amazing like world class players like Yaya Toure was and all that. It's only going to benefit them. And as a club I think we need to work on the way we integrate academy players in, because I think we do have a really good academy, but how often, like Oliver Skip, Kane, Winks, like you can only, and Tanganga, but really Kane and Skip have been like the two really, really good people who have come through recently. And I don't think that's because we can't coach players. I think we have a problem with kind of integrating them and how their mentality is when they're around the first team. But when you have players like Jermaine Defoe, like Yaya Toure, that tell you how to act. These are really experienced players. And if you get that experience from a younger age, now it's not as big of a shock when you enter the first team. You start going around the first team, start kind of integrating. I think it's going to be much smoother with these kind of figures around them. I think it's brilliant.
So, Danny, you got anything to say? You've been very quiet.
I'm enjoying Arian. I like when Arian speaks because you can just listen to him and he can just go and go and go. I love it.
Yeah, so actually, do you know what? I haven't even brought this up. The whole show, I haven't brought this up, and I was like, I want to talk about this, but I'm going to get...
How dare you, Brian?
I know, I haven't spoke about my boy Alfie and the whole thing that blew up yesterday.
Ah, yeah,
with Alfie Divine. What's your thoughts on what you heard about that, Arian?
Look, if we let him go, because I think the interest from Germany, I think, was something that I kind of expected. I think ever since Bellingham and Sancho went to Dortmund, there's been... Yeah. Every single English talent has had German clubs sniffing around, and with a player as brilliant as Alfie Divine, I think it's going to be obvious that you're going to have people like Leipzig and Dortmund looking around him. So, and if he wants first team assurances, give it to him, right? I don't think I think when you saw the screenshots, I think people are kind of misinterpreting it as he has to play in the first team. I don't think that's what he's asking for at all. I think he's asking for a path into the first team. I think that's definitely what he's looking for. He's looking for a secure way to contact for him and be like, yes, if you do this, you go on loan here, and you're gonna be like Skip, where I'm gonna try and integrate you. I'm gonna try to play you in this role. I'm gonna play you down wide. I'm gonna play you in the middle in a 3-5-2, whatever it is. I think he wants the assurance that he's not gonna have to waste 3 or 4 years of his career on the bench. And I think that's perfectly reasonable for a player of his talent. I don't think he's asking for anything crazy. So, hopefully Antonio Conte can, give him that kind of assurance. Say, look, I like, and I think in the text it said Antonio Conte liked him, didn't it? So if Conte really does like him, then I think it shouldn't. I don't think it's impossible for him to be like, hey, you go on loan this season, and then when you come back, we'll assess where you're at, and we're gonna help. I think on injury as well, which kind of complicates things a little bit, but hopefully he goes on loan in this season or January. He smashes it, and he comes back, and Conte's like, look, you did great. So now we're gonna do this with you. Just sign 2 more years. We're gonna send you on loan again, or we're gonna keep you. We're gonna play you in the first team. We're gonna play you in the cups, whatever it may be. Because we need to keep him. This guy is Kane level at least, I would say. This guy's literally. I think we have not seen a talent of this level in our academy for a really long time. I think people are underrating just how good he is.
Yeah, this is. I mean, people will know how much I talk about this kid. He isn't one for the future. He is the future. That's what I'm saying. That's how big he is. And what I think Paratici is now doing is he's working on the youth academy. Because if you look at it, this shouldn't be allowed to happen where a player of this talent gets to this part of his contract where it's happened with Danny. What's the name of the guy that went to Holland?
Madueke.
Yes, we've let him go. We've let people like Makande go. These players for a team that's meant to be invested heavily in youth and seen it or as the model to be self-sustaining, there is no way this guy should be ever left with 2 years on his contract, ever. And I just hope that we can give him that pathway. I really do, because he is. I've said it. When I finally start buying shirts again from the club shop and start spending my money, I will get his name and number on the back, even if he's not in the first team. We saw what he did at the Euros. This guy is the future of Tottenham.
He's unbelievable.
He is ridiculous. But Ariane, score predictions, mate.
I'm gonna go with a safe 2-0 Spurs. I don't think it's gonna be an open game at all. I think whoever wins, it's gonna be 2-0. I want to say that. I think it's gonna be 2-0 to either side. 100%. Like, I would bet money on that. Is gonna be the 2-0 Spurs or 2-0 Chelsea. But I'm gonna say 2-0 Spurs because I'm a Spurs fan.
And who's gonna get them?
I think it's gonna be Son and Kulu.
Son and Kulu. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Arian isn't always.
Do you know what? Before you go, Aaron, do you know what I've liked? Nearly everyone. I think pretty much everyone has said Kulu to score. I think everyone is. There's something about Kulusevski this season. I think he's going to light up the Premier League.
He's the Robin region. He's the Robin.
He is.
Every time he cuts in on his left foot, you can only pray. You can only pray, man. He's unbelievable. I love him so much.
Honestly, it's the same for me, Aaron. Do you know what it is? It's when he gets to his man and then he just does this burst and he just goes straight past them like they're not even there. And it's like, Jesus. And you think, and that's what makes people believe that he's like this really quick player. He's not slower, but it's not that. It's because he just doesn't have that long distance speed where he can like sprint down the whole pitch and burn past everyone like Bale or Robben could or Aaron Lennon. But when he's up against his man, he will just go. And then that left foot, what he can do with that left foot, we're going to...
magic. Yeah,
honestly, it is magic.
It's a bit like how Ndombele and Dembele kind of use dribble. Like, their body shape looks a little bit kind of like it's about to fall over, but you don't really like it. But last second, you realize he's not falling over. He's about to blaze right past you to wherever he wants to be. It's so weird and it's so effective. It makes you excited every time it happens.
It does.
It gives you a burst. I love it. Absolutely.
Do you know why, Brian? I was saying earlier why I think he's my obviously I think at the moment my favorite players. It's hard to say because when you got Kane and Son in your team, they're two so different players, but they're two very phenomenal and very key to what we do. And if we want to achieve anything, they're going to be fundamentals to it. But it's just the unknown of what Kulusevski can do is why I'm so excited by him. And at the moment, he's giving me more excitement than anyone because we already know what Son and Kane can do. Right. It's what we don't know what Kulu can do because we've only seen a certain amount of months of what he can do. And the physicality of his body, how he is, he's perfect for the Premier League. And he's getting stronger and fitter and fitter, etc. and blending into his team even more. And what you can see with him is that that cross he did to Sessegnon was out of this world. That is De Bruyne-esque. That is, and honestly, I actually think that this guy is going to get De Bruyne assist numbers, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. I think he's going to get 10, 12, 13 assists this season. I think he honestly, if you look at last season, he was getting nearly assists a game. I mean, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
You see his like GA ratio. It looked
it's ridiculous.
It looked like inflated numbers. Like seriously, it's unreal.
It's mad, and I just think that if he stays injury clear, with Kane and Son in that team, if they are able to add maybe another creative midfielder, who knows how good this guy's going to be this season?
Who knows, man? Unreal.
Aaron, I
Yeah.
just want to say one thing. I've just seen in the private chat you asked about a different tattoo, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
How's that one coming along?
That one.
Hey!
That one. And you know, I got the 100,000 added when they got 100,000.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I said when they get anything like 250, 500, so it'll be like a bar chart when I get down. And the only other thing is I said as well is if we win any trophies under Conte, then that's it. I'll get trophies around that tattoo, but no more Spurs tattoos. But Ariane, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you so much for
always
having me.
See you later on, brother.
brilliant, Arian.
And as always,
take care, buddy.
come on, you Spurs!
Can't you, Spurs?
Come on, you Spurs.
So I said we had one guest left. We've now got two, but that is where we're closing
That's
the show.
it.
That is it. We're closing the show at that too.
That's all, folks.
So we're gonna bring on the next guy.
You out there, Bobby?
Bobby, you okay?
Yeah, not to worry, man. I just got to take my pills again soon. But a big K just walked in, so I'll get him to grab them for me. No worries.
There you go. What a son's for, eh? What a son's
Exactly.
for.
Child labor, man. I'm all for it.
Can I just say, Brian, before you do, we've got 7 more likes until we get to 200. So there's just 7 more of you in the chat right now. If you can just smash that like, because honestly, it helps Ben and Sim and the channel out so much that you wouldn't believe. So all we need, guys, just look 7 more. And we're at 200 mark. So let's do it, man. Come on. Let's hit that 7 more. 2 more. 2 more. That's it. 2 more and we're there. 2 more, guys.
When you're going
that's it. We've hit it.
Oh, you've hit it.
You lot are amazing. Unbelievable.
All you need to do now is hit the link on the description where it's got mine and Danny's channel, Tottenham on Tour, and just smash the subscribe on that as well. We really are pushing for 5,000 and would love to have some of you along for the journey. But now it's time to bring someone on, and it's time to finally bring someone on from Canada. So it's always good to have Donovan on, brother. How are you?
Donovan, how are you?
Only Donovan.
Exactly.
Only Donovan.
What's up, Donovan, brother? How you been?
Good, lads. How you doing?
All good, all good. Your
Nice
10
to see you,
minutes
man.
start now, brother. What would you like to talk about?
Thought I'd hop on here. I getting over a little bit of sickness, so I've got to come in here and talk Spurs and get those good vibes going.
I hope you get better soon, man.
Yeah, I'm tired, man. I was like all week, just new job and coming through, and then hearing all this disrespect put on Spurs names about this Chelsea game, man. It's really been rattling me. It's everywhere from X to Cox Sport to Sky Sport, man. We seem to be the dark horse underdog team going into this, like it's Chelsea have been historically our bogey team, especially at Stamford Bridge. I think it's like 2 wins, 30 years or something crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if y'all listen to Talk Sport, but you hear what that Jason Kundi has to say about.
Oh, what's Cundy been saying now?
I hate him so much.
Yeah, he's what he said basically essentially the lines of Tottenham are all fart, no poop, right?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was so ridiculous. I thought I was dreaming that, but I must have watched it in my sleep yesterday.
He's so bitter because he was such a bad player through everywhere he went throughout his career.
Exactly, right? Like I'm like, where you couldn't even get into any of our starting lineups, maybe not even our squad. So where are you to get off saying that shit, man? Like, but no, I think what it is though, it's like they're trying to overcompensate for how scared they actually are of Antonio Conte's team because they've experienced Antonio Conte, the stallion, in the flesh. They know what he can do to his squad. They know what they can, hit like big up, man. He knows what he can do to his squad. He took them from 10th to 1st in the next year. And I like to say our squad is better than that Chelsea squad back in the day. So with all these additions he's gotten in, and now that we're looking to get all people out, we have Gio going, we have Ndombele going. I'm pretty sure we'll get all these other boys sorted too. We're gonna get some sneaky last couple Levy sightings in, and really gonna make a push here. Like I can see us really making some moves in the last couple weeks here that totally blows us out of the water.
So Donovan,
I really hope you're right, Donovan. Honestly,
Donovan, question. Do you know what you talking made me think about it? Do you know what? A few weeks ago, I was watching a documentary about Alex Ferguson, and Alex Ferguson was with the Man U players, and they said, "Do you know what? Alex Ferguson we knew what it would be like for 50 weeks of the year, but the 2 weeks of the year where he changed completely was just before they played Arsenal. Because back then, when it was the big two and they were the big rivalry, he said, as soon as the Premier League game finished and the next game was Arsenal, he changed completely and he went literally military on them. And it was like, right, everything. Do you reckon right now, after what happened last season with Chelsea, and because it's Chelsea, there'll be a switch at Tottenham this season or this week building up to this game with Conte?
Oh, totally. You saw him in
Oh,
and
he's here.
focus your attention elsewhere. Yeah.
Say it again, Donovan. It just broke up.
I don't want to talk about other coaches.
You froze up there a little bit, Donovan. You're good now, bud.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, you saw him in the press conference. He was trying to deflect and refocus the attention somewhere else. And he was almost like smalling himself up a little bit to not put any pressure on the players. But in the back room, he's telling those players, like he's going to war. You're going to go and kill these players, man, because that battle in the bridge you saw under Pochettino, it'll be nothing. It'll be nothing compared to what they're going to go to war on Sunday. You're going to see Kuti going in hard on the tackles. You're going to see Kane and Son and Dejan pressing from the front. Pierre Højbjerg, Busquets gonna hold up that midfield of Bentancur, and it's gonna be a revitalized Tottenham team. I do think we're gonna go behind first. I think we're gonna drop that first goal, and that's really gonna get us going. If you guys remember, he was mentioning in his first preseason conference there how we have levels now we can get to. We have like the mid press, we have the mid high, then we have the high press, we have the mid low. Like there's these gears now that he's taught these players how to go into. And you saw it. I think we only went into maybe third gear against Southampton, and we already blew them out of the water. These teams like Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, you could argue even Newcastle and Villa, these teams that are mid-top teams are not going to be able to compete with us. And it's going to be the likes of City, Liverpool, and us that are really going to be pushing these teams physically and mentally right to the finish line, because Conte's a born winner, man. You don't play for him in his squad unless he sees something in you, and that's a killer, and that's a fighter, man.
So what changes would you make? Oh, sorry, God, Danny, were you about to say something?
No, I agree with you. I think it's exactly the type of the players that he wants is those type of players who are willing to give 110% every time they get onto that pitch. And I think without everyone being in unison doing that together, I think it just doesn't work. And I think that's exactly what he's trying to build, isn't it? That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, it's even like you touched on before, Danny. Now, Donovan, you might be able to answer this as well. Somebody had brought it up earlier. If God forbid Kane, Sonny, Decky are having a few off games, does Richarlison replace them immediately?
Immediately, yeah. I think he's got the pedigree too. You don't score 10 goals consistently for a struggling Everton team without being able to take some kind of shit from not only your own skeptical fans, but people that are trying to kick you and break your ankle pretty much every game. He's got that fighting instinct in him, and if Conte can kind of harness that shithousery in him and really kind of integrate him to the squad, we have a real player on our hands. What do you think, Brian?
Sorry, say again. I was just feeling with that. Sorry, say again, Donovan.
It was actually Bobby was saying if Kane and Son or Kulu end up going down, does Richarlison have the grit in him to kind of fill those boots right away?
Like what we were discussing earlier, Brian, where if not injury, but just out of form, if they go a couple of games where they just look stale, automatically do we refresh them by having their competition?
Well, I think what happens this time is, of course, I don't even think it's if they're not looking sharp. I reckon there's going to be such rotation, like what people have been saying when you look at Man City last season. De Bruyne is the only player that played over 30 games. Do you see any of them bitching, moaning, arguing, like people are saying that they might go, oh, Harry Kane's not happy, he might not be This is what Conte's doing. He is literally, if we want the best, look, Tottenham will win things if we can get a razor-sharp Harry Kane all season. And the way we get a razor sharp Harry Kane all season is by not playing him every single game this season, or not letting him play 90 minutes every game this season. But what we've wanted as well, like we said, we need competition for Kane or Son or Kulu, not backup. I hate that word backup. Competition, and what we've got in Richarlison is competition for all three of those positions. For all three, he can cover. Whether I think he'll do better as a one of the wide players as opposed to centrally. But beforehand, if let's just say the Wolves game at home last season, if Kane was out and it was like, oh, we bring on Troy Parrott or Dane Scarlett or we move Bergwijn there, you're like, oh shit. Whereas now you'll go, we put Richarlison there. You're not saying he's as good as him by any chance, but what you are saying is there is genuine. That's an okay replacement. That is a guy that can do the job. And I honestly think he is going to become a firm Spurs favourite. And I think he's going to do wonderful for us. I really do.
Yeah, I see Richarlison Rishi doing better actually from a supporting role than Gabriel Jesus would do from a starting role at Arsenal. He doesn't have the physicality, he doesn't have the build, he doesn't have the know-how or the grit. Richarlison beats him into the Brazil starting national team, right? And Jesus is passed over, right? So I actually think we're going to do a bit of, like I said, if I could allude to, I don't like speculating because we're linked to so many players in so many positions. But I think that Paratici left our creative midfielder until after the Southampton game because he really wanted to get into James Ward-Prowse's head that, hey, we're not just above you, we're levels above you, all right? And you want to be an England international, and you want to compete at that stage, and you want a chance to go to Qatar or even the next World Cup. This is the squad you need to be in. And you could tell that he was a big fish in a small pond there. You know, he was the only player that could get on the ball and make consistent passes back and forth. He was their metronome. And without James Ward-Prowse, Southampton are relegation candidates. And it's time for him, if he wants to take his career seriously, if he wants to become that all-time European free kick taker, if he wants to beat David Beckham's record, he needs to push on. And I'm not worried about the 50, 60 million. I think if Southampton get battered again this weekend and it's the third week and they're starting to look like they're starting to go downhill, if Spurs come sniffing around in the $30 to $45 million mark with add-ons, I reckon he'll be ours either this transfer window or in January because he's fly. He's a don. He's funny. He knows how to do it and get in people's head and talk to people and save those tens of millions of dollars for these players that are otherwise blockbuster transfers.
Well, there you go. Well, Donovan, first of all, I'm going to be in touch with you because there's a big chance Tottenham on tour will be doing Canada watch-alongs for the World Cup. So, funnily enough, we're getting you on that for sure. So yeah,
I'm down.
But what is your prediction for tomorrow?
Like I alluded to earlier, I definitely think Spurs. I think Spurs are going to be dropping that first goal. We'll be a little slow out of the gates, and I think we'll underestimate how well Mason Mount has adapted to that false number 9. But we're going to get the grip on the game, and then we're going to win it 3-1. In my opinion, we're going to win it 3-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for as well. I think Danny's going for that as well. But Donovan, always a pleasure to speak to you, brother. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll speak soon.
Yeah, and get well soon as well, Donovan. Man.
Yeah, wish you better, Donovan.
As soon as you can.
Thanks, man.
And enjoy the game, man.
Bed, man. I gotta sleep, man. See you, Bobby.
Well, hopefully, a Spurs win will do that for you, mate. It will get you up, mate.
Yeah, that's the plan, man. Take it easy, guys.
Take care, Donovan. Have a good night, buddy. Feel better.
So, we're on to the last guest, and it's a good guest. It's a very good guest. I am going to bring in Mr.
If he's here.
Dan, you here, brother?
Hey, Danny.
Is he here?
Daniel. Did he fall asleep? It's past his bedtime, isn't it?
Nah, he's not up at this time. Danny?
Nah, he's up, man. He stays up later than we all guys, that's for sure.
Wait a minute. There's a private message. Is it from him? Give him 1 minute. Okay. So, yeah. So, we'll just have a... But whilst we're waiting for him, give your channel a shout-out again.
Yeah, 3 Spurs Boys, the number 3 Spurs Boys, all one word on YouTube. On Twitter, it's at the 3 Spurs Boys. And yeah, we've got these two beautiful gentlemen above me that have helped us, me and the boys, start off a little channel here, and especially that guy in the top corner wearing the blue. He's the godfather of our little structure over here that got me roped into all this, and it's just been addictive and freaking amazing since, man. It's just been absolutely blast to meet all these wonderful people in the community, the people I've met through the chat and everything. It's just overwhelming. I can't speak highly enough about it, man. This United Spurs family that we have is just absolutely fantastic. Because of you guys, because of you, Brian, getting me into this, I've met people all around the world. It's crazy how many people and where I've met them from and stuff. And I really, really can't wait to get these feet on English soil and get to a game and meet you guys.
You speak about that, boy, but I don't know. Do you remember Nick, Greek guy that comes in and watches the game?
Your friend Nick from the with the beard.
So my friend Nick. So this is how small this world is. Me and Danny started talking a lot on the chat in We Are Tottenham TV, and then we exchanged and started talking on WhatsApp. I went to send Danny a friend request on Facebook, and we had one friend in common. And who was that friend? Nick. Danny grew up with Nick. And it was just like, how small is this world? But here he is.
Literally grew up.
We went from 2 B's to 2 D's.
Yeah, that's it, mate. The B&D show, which all spells Brian Daigle, so we're all good. So, look, Brian Daigle. Wait a minute, I've got to change this now. Can I change it? Yes, I can. Brian Daigle.
Hey. There we go. That's Danny boy, long time, kiddo. How are you?
How are you, Dan?
Long time. I'm doing fantastically right now.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Good
buddy.
to see you too.
Danny, what do you want to talk about, my man?
Honestly, I've never been this confident going to Stamford Bridge, and it's honestly scaring me how confident I am, because usually it doesn't really end that greatly when I'm confident, but I'm literally just going full in on this one, and I'm not turning back. I think we're gonna win very comfortably. Actually, I think I'm going for 3-1. If you ask me for a prediction, I think it will be 3-1, and I think it'll be very comfortable.
Sure. You want to put your hat on before you come? No.
Sorry, Bobby. You talking to Kate?
Sorry. Yeah, I thought I'd muted myself there. My apologies here. Big man entered. He heard Danny, and he said, if one of my friends is on, I want to come say hi too. Okay, so all right, come say hi to your buddy. Come say hi to your buddy then. Come on, then. So the bun master up there.
How's it going? How's
the guy
it going?
with the blue shirt.
I've been here for 3 hours and he doesn't come on. Danny comes on. Oh,
exactly. That's the 3 hours he's been coming in and out of the room. At least he brought me my water and my meds.
But yes, he
wasn't invited on. He only got invited on now.
Oh, okay.
So now it's my fault. It's always the parents' fault, right?
Dan, if you could make any changes to the team, would you make any, or would you stay the same as Southampton?
I don't know. Because honestly, the two worst performers were Son and Kane, and a lot of people would argue that they're not droppable. So Emerson Royale, I don't think you could change that right wing back position of how well he played. I think Sessegnon starts as well, midfield too. I'm not sure Bissouma gets to start yet over Højbjerg. I would love to see him start and have a fantastic performance and earn his spot into the team, but I'm not sure he's there yet. I can't see any changes. If I had to predict the starting lineup, I would go for the exact same starting 11.
Okay. Joe, where do you see Chelsea's biggest threat being?
I think Sterling is a fantastic player, but I don't know. I just think that he won't have that much threat playing in this team the way that they play. I don't think it fits him. I think Manchester City fit him way better. It's probably going to be from the right-hand side in person, and maybe even the left-hand side, because obviously Chelsea every team that plays against Tottenham loves to attack our right-hand side with the options that we have there. But I don't know, honestly. I think it'd have to be Sterling. Sterling would have to be the main threat.
Okay. You got Reece James and Sterling playing on the right-hand side, right?
Yeah. Well, Sterling could also start as a striker. He's been playing striker recently.
So James Joyce wants your top. Not your top, your hat, Dan.
Uh,
Um,
I picked it up when I went to Italy not too long ago.
There you go. There you go. So, what else do you want to talk about apart from the Chelsea game, Dan?
Talk sport, man. Honestly, this
Let's do it.
guy, I've literally seen it. I'm done with these sports channels talking trash about Tottenham. Like always in the past, always Spursy, this, Spursy that. Forget Spursy, man. They love Spursy. If you could look up the most used word in football talk shows, it would be Spursy. That's the only thing they talk about when they're talking about Spurs. Spurs could be top of the table, clear of everyone going into the last game of the season, and they would be like, "Oh, they have Spursy, so they can still lose." And this guy talking about they're all farts, but they don't poo.
I mean that is great journalism, isn't it? That is journalism at the highest order. Listen, Jason Cundy, the only
Poetry,
reason,
man.
mate. Do you know what? I only remember him from scoring from the halfway line against Ipswich with a fluke fucking. It wasn't even a shot; it was a sliding tackle. But also, he used to do a show before he went to TalkSport. Showing my age now. It used to be called "You're on Sky Sports," which was basically a fan phone-in. So basically, it was him in a Sky studio, and obviously he could get away with a lot more. But he does my head in. He's an ex-Spurs player, and the amount of disrespect he shows our club is ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was an ex-Spurs player. I just thought he was a Chelsea player. He doesn't show it at all. That's actually even more disgraceful. The fact that he used to play for Spurs, and he disrespects Spurs that much in the media. Gee, I didn't even know that. Well, that analogy about the poo. I mean, Chelsea will be pooing by half time when they see how battered they are getting in the pitch. But
yes, Danny.
Do you reckon? I've seen a few people in the comments today, and I've seen a few people also on Twitter say like it's to be over by half time. Like we'll have the job done. I mean, I just can't see that. I cannot see us taking a commanding lead at the bridge up by half time. What do you reckon?
Well, mainly most of the stuff I'm saying is to wind up Chelsea fans, which I absolutely love to do.
Oh, we all love that.
But let's be completely honest, we're not going to wrap the game up by halftime. It's not going to be as easy as a game as it was Southampton, but it will be personally one of the most convincing times we've gone to the bridge in recent years. We never won there in the last 4 years. I had a pre-match with a Chelsea fan not too long ago, like an hour ago, and the guy was just literally running his mouth about, Stamford Bridge curse, Stamford Bridge curse. So this is the match where I would absolutely love to batter them, like literally tear them to little pieces, tear them little pieces. The amount of Chelsea fans, they could literally be the worst team in the world, and then they'd come to Tottenham and they'd be confident all of a sudden because Spurs is. I hate that narrative.
So do you know what? This will be more for you, Dan, and also Bobby K, and Big K, because obviously I've only lived here for 4 years and know that they're bad. We get to see them. We've got a super chat coming from Adrian, so big up Adrian. ESPN have been. I mean, I've seen things since I've moved over here, but have they always been this way when it comes to us?
Honestly, I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys remember this, but you remember when Harry Kane was like top goal scorer in the Premier League? He was smashing all the records, and then a video was leaked of ESPN laughing at the way that he talked.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember that.
Disgraceful. And then they came out thinking they're off air. What are you thinking? Honestly, they just think of whatever they can to laugh at us, and it's honestly embarrassing from their part. I remember the point that we're well, I mean, you could say that they were right, but we were top of the league, and they were like, no, they're not title contenders.
Yeah, I mean, with ESPN as well, the one person I hate is Steve Nicol.
Is that I don't know exactly the names because they're all clowns
the
to me.
Red-headed one. He's the ginger from Scotland. It doesn't have his own.
Yeah, I know who it is. I know who it is.
He was a great player for Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, he was a great player for Liverpool, but he talks absolute nonsense.
Honestly, I don't know if you. This is another one where I've seen recently where he was talking about Antonio Conte's training methods.
Yeah,
and he was like, I don't understand. In my head, I'm like, what don't you understand? He's trying to get the physicality levels up. What is there not to understand? I don't get where this is so like you can't get around. You can't get your head around it. It's literally just trying to get the physicality levels up, and he's so far. It's not like he's just a joke of a manager who's never done anything in his career, and he's making all the players pass out in the middle of the pitch during preseason. No, he's a proven manager. It's not like his methods are not proven. I don't understand that guy. There's so many pundits that are just clowns, in my opinion, and they just look for every little thing to laugh at Spurs, and it's honestly embarrassing from their part.
Well, the good thing with TalkSport is at least Graham Souness has joined, and Graham Souness will speak his mind, and will put people in their place. But yeah, it seems we were speaking before that there seems to be a bit of a media shift, wasn't we? But you still get these couple of idiots.
Yeah, I'm very like, how do you say? I'm very verbal on like the Spurs hate in the media. They love. I remember when Son didn't get nominated for the PFA Player of the Year award, and people were like saying, "Oh, the South Korean," and personally for me, I don't think it's because he's Korean. I think it's because he plays for Tottenham. Because the season before, Harry Kane had the most goals and the most assists in the Premier League. He didn't get the Player of the Season.
It's a very good point.
Yeah,
he didn't get the Player of the
always
Season.
biased against us.
It's literally, and I know people will also make claims that their club gets so much hate and all that, but if you look at throughout the years and throughout history, the media's hate for Spurs, you can't deny it. It's not something that you could just ignore, and something like, and the whole Spursy narrative started from the media. That word Spursy came from the media. So if you're sitting there saying that the media is not biased on Spurs, I think you need to reevaluate it.
Well, I don't know, guys. I don't know how you expect extreme journalism or professional journalism for these guys. They're ex-players.
Yeah.
A lot of them. They never went to journalism school. They didn't, go through everything that, the guys like Ali went through and all that stuff to be professional. They're spewing whatever they can to spin it to their narrative to make sure that they get their viewers and they get some talking points and guys like us discussing what they talked about. That's all these guys are, man.
Well, the PFA award.
They're talking heads, man.
Well, the PFA award and the Premier League of the season wasn't really an ex-player. It's just.
No, that's just disgraceful. No, you're right.
That's why I want to make this point out. And I know today, Spurs fans will be out on Twitter saying, yes, Son and Kane got nominated to the Ballon d'Or. These voted awards, people need to stop caring about them. People need to start. From now on, the only awards I actually care about are like the Golden Boot, where it's factual that you have the most goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's not voted on. An award that's voted on should not count like an actual award.
You're right.
It's literally an opinion award.
Just before we get you to plug your channel, I just want to say big up to Lucas, because like you, not for your game that you're going to, Lucas is going to his first Spurs game against Leeds. So have a wicked time.
Wicked, Lucas. Good luck, man. Enjoy.
So Dan, your prediction and where can people find you, my good man?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna repeat my prediction again. 3-1, confident as ever. And I'm absolutely when we beat them, not if we beat them, when we beat them, I will be the first one on here laughing at all these Chelsea fans hyping up the Stamford Bridge curse. I'll be the first one on here laughing in their faces. But yeah, you guys can find me on DanTFC on YouTube and on Twitter. A lot of content coming out for this Chelsea game. I'll be going to the Irish pub again I'll be interviewing fans after the game and getting the pub's reaction to all the goals when we absolutely smash them to pieces.
Wicked. Everyone go check his channel out. This kid is a superstar in the making. He really is. Check it out. Dan, we'll speak very soon, brother.
No problem. Come on, you Spurs.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Nice to see you, Dan.
Right, guys and everyone, that is a wrap after 3 hours, 8 minutes of the Late Show.
Can we get our in-house guest just to score predictions at least?
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to say.
You read his mind. You read his mind.
We're in sync, man. Me and Daigle sometimes.
I was
crazy. I don't know which one's doing the thinking, which one's doing the talking sometimes.
Big K, what is your score prediction? And also predict who is going to be the loudest at the Scotland Yard on Sunday.
Wait, what was the last part? Sorry.
Who's going to be the loudest person in the Scotland Yard on Sunday?
All right, I can answer the second part. You. First part, personally, what my heart's telling me, I predict an Eric Dyer masterclass. 4 goals, 2 assists, 1 goal for Son, bicycle kick from outside the box, and 1 halfway goal from Harry Kane. Eric Dyer, 4 goals.
Okay, this show has been very, very, very delusional.
I was
think it's
deluded at
just ended in the
5-0. He went 6-0.
I think it's ended in the perfect way. But Big K, Little K, once again, give your channel a plug.
Yep. You can find us at the 3 Spurs Boys on Twitter and on YouTube.
Fantastic. And from me and Danny on Tottenham on Tour, I just want to say, again, this is only the second show we've done on this. It'll be a Friday weekly show. Just thank you to absolutely everyone that has liked. How many likes we got up to now, Danny?
Ooh, how many is it now? It is 224 likes.
There we go. Big up, everyone. I believe we may be doing a fan show tomorrow on Tottenham on Tour. Is that right, Danny?
I think we're going to be doing it from the Kaufman Coffee Shop. So we're going to have our special on location with our new special brew, courtesy of the coffee company from Ben Kaufman, the Coffee on Tour coffee. So that's a tongue twister. That is.
That really was.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be doing it from his amazing coffee shop tomorrow. But we'll put the times out during the day tomorrow.
There you go. So all I will say is, as we always say at the end of these shows, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on.
Come on.
Spurs.